Hey, everybody, check out Alexis's giant mug.
It is seriously the best Christmas present ever.
Oh, Christmas present. Nice, nice.
Yeah, like look at this thing.
Wow.
Like,
Is that a liter?
yes.
It's like a liter worth. Wow. That's awesome. I love it.
Now, for the stream, that is tea.
Right. Absolutely.
It it actually is. I don't drink beer. I don't like it.
Could also be cider for fun. But anyway, welcome, guys. Lorebeards 40K. Today, we're going to be talking about one of the most interesting people in the entire setting, Eldrad Ulthran.
Oh wow, we pronounce his name like the same, like correctly. Because like I say Gilliman, you say Gulliman, and like
I mean,
I love the differences. But this is like one time where we're just like Uthran, done.
sometime we'll have to talk about all the weird D&D pronunciations that I actually know the correct ones on.
Oh, one of my favorites is
It's
because
Hoblapass, Ixixachitl, for example.
since I've been trying to learn more Icelandic, like listening to audiobooks try to pronounce like the Space Wolf names, I'm just like, no.
So for people who may not know who we are, who are tuning in just for this show or whatever, my name is Ross Watson. I am an author and game designer who've worked on a whole bunch of stuff for Warhammer 40K, including video games and RPGs.
Neat. My name is Alexis. I am a content producer. I am a cosplayer. I am a gamer. I play way too much Warhammer 40K. I casually walked up to a game today and pointed out a move, and my opponent did it and nearly won the game because of it. Uh, but I am an avid tournament player. I love this hobby so much. I got into it back in 4th edition, and 4th edition lore was so different. Eldrad died. But he got better.
Yeah, we're gonna get into that because, like I said, Eldrad's if there was a competition for most interesting man in the universe for 40K, Eldrad would certainly be in the ranking.
Yes, 1000%. Eldrad is such a weird, like, but we have to try to explain everything around Eldrad while explaining Eldrad. So let's just start this off. Eldrad is a space elf. Ooh, he's an elf in space.
He's an Eldar. I've got my Asuryani shirt on today for people who are curious. Eldrad is one of the Eldari, who are space elves, and he is specifically part of the Asuryani faction. Although he has flirted with the Ynnari faction as well.
In all fairness, so would I.
Dude, Ynnari is where it's at. Like I would absolutely like be a Ynnari.
Ynnari is the coolest thing that GW did not commit to.
I wish. Anyway, sorry. We're going on a tangent about the Ynnari. So Eldrad is also possibly the oldest known Eldar in existence. He's over 10,000 years old, predates the Imperium of Man.
Some of the lore even states that he was there at the fall of the Eldar.
Yeah, well, it's him, Vect, and Rakarth, I think. No, shit, I can't remember his name. There's another guy, but there's like 3 Eldar that they claim to remember the fall. But Eldrad is the most, like, he has the receipts.
Yeah,
he's got the most lore backing him up that he is actually that old, which is crazy. And he's been deeply involved with a whole bunch of major events in the 40K setting. I mean, the battles of Armageddon, the rise of Ghazghkull Magaruk Thraka, the 13th Black Crusade, both of them.
Yeah, the non-canonical and the canonical version of it.
Horus Heresy, the War of the Beast. This guy's been around. He's been involved in a lot of shit.
He's also unintentionally released a god. Well, he intended it. It just did not go the way he thought it would go.
We're going to get a lot of that. Tonight is going to be a whole lot of us saying what Eldrad wanted was this, and what actually happened was that.
Now, I do want to talk about this just really quickly. This is a cutaway. I'm sorry. There was a big reveal for Warhammer and Horus Heresy that we are going to be talking about instead of doing the modeling stuff at the end of the stream. So if you guys do post your models in the Discord right now, they will be saved and I will get them next week. But there was a big reveal. So the last 30-ish minutes of this podcast, we are going to be talking about the new reveals. I am stupid excited for them. We did get a whole bunch of Eldar in that, so I am stupid excited.
I literally only seen like 1 or 2 images, so this is going to be you're going to see a reaction of Ross going, "Whoa, wow."
I was watching it during I was watching it while playing D&D.
Uh-oh. So we've just briefly touched on the Eldar being space elves. They come in different flavors. The specific flavor we're going to be talking about tonight is called the Asuryani. They are kind of like space Amish in that they have rejected a lot of the hedonistic ways of the past and focus themselves down. What'd you say?
The joke about the Asuryani is that they're the weebs, they're samurais.
I mean, they do have a lot of that discipline and art kind of aspect to it. I get so Asuryani do discipline their minds by walking down what are called paths, and these are careers, hobbies, artistic pursuits. And the Craftworld Eldar, that's how they sort of channel their inner emotional turmoil, because Eldari in general are A, psychic, highly psychic, and B, they feel emotions much more strongly than a typical human does.
They can even feel the emotions of creatures around them if they're close to them, because they're all inherently psychic. And it's a really cool thing. Like high-level psychers can actually feel Eldari presences. And I just thought that was super interesting.
Grim Isaac says the real space Amish are the Exodites. Okay, I mean, granted, that is accurate. You're out of line, but you're not wrong, Grim Isaac. So the Craftworld, go ahead.
Let's continue explaining the Craftworld. Then we have to explain what a Farseer is.
Right. So Craftworlds are these enormous ships. They are, I mean, roughly the size of a small moon, generally speaking. Imagine that a star if it was more ship-shaped and less moon-shaped. That's kind of what a Craftworld size is. They are home to a particular branch of the Asuryani Eldar, and each of these Craftworlds has their own beliefs, traditions, ways of battle, that kind of thing. One of these Craftworlds is called Ulthway, and it is intentionally kept very close to the Eye of Terror by Eldrad Ulthran.
Because that's a good idea.
Well, he thought it was. What can you tell us about the Craftworld Ulthway, Alexis?
That is what I'm trying to grab right now. I know what a Craftworld is. I know how they function, but the actual Ulthway, I will admit, I forget.
Well, I mean, this is not a show about Ulthway, so it's all right. Really, all you need to know is that it is very close to the Eye of Terror, and they have a special kind of guardian called Black Guardians that are their armed forces. They keep their civilian citizen soldiers trained to a slightly higher standard because of their position in the galaxy. Yeah.
They also have the Storm Guardians.
Well, Storm Guardians are anybody can have Storm Guardians.
Yeah, but like the Black Guardians are the next level of Storm Guardians.
Right. True. Granted.
Yeah.
So, where was I? Right. So Ulthway is a Craftworld, and on Craftworlds are led by Farseers. Farseers are the most psychically active members of their species. They are very good. They're basically prophets. They can read the waves of the future, if you can imagine that. They use Eldar runes, which are these psychoactive stone symbols that represent concepts in Eldar culture and history and story and legend. And the Farseers read the patterns of these runes, and they can determine what's going to happen in the future. And the Farseers thus use this ability to read the future to guide their craft worlds out of danger, away from danger. Occasionally, they manipulate certain cultures, especially the Imperium. They're very good at manipulating the Imperium into handling threats before it becomes a problem for the craft world. And this is something that Eldrad has done, many would argue, far too many times.
Yeah. The Eldar love manipulating two species in particular, humans and orcs. They love manipulating orcs and accidentally creating the strongest war boss to ever exist. In 40K.
Which again is Eldrad, and we're going to talk about that. Yeah, poor this guy. Oh my god! One of the things I'm really excited to get into is like some of the fan theories and headcanon, because they get absolutely wild. This is one of the craziest characters for headcanon and fan theories. So what else? Oh, spirit stones. So when Eldar die, their souls are captured by these gemstones they wear called spirit stones, and the soul is then, the spirit stone is then placed into what is called an infinity circuit. It's a construction of this material called wraithbone that allows souls to commune with each other and kind of be together in a, not a prison, but you know, it's a place for them to gather and rest and speak with the living.
So one of the cool things about spirit stones is that it takes in the soul of the person currently wearing it, even if they're non-Eldari. There is a story of a rogue trader who had one, and when she put one on, her soul was pulled into it, and the Eldar soul was put into their body.
The great brain robbery.
Yes.
That would be a fun little switcheroo, and a perfect setup for a comedic episode of a television show, for example.
Oh yeah, yeah.
I mean, Eldrad should star in his own sitcom. Let's be clear.
He should have his own talk show.
I mean, anyway, so I think we've covered kind of the basics of the Eldar.
Well, now let's go into something a little bit more advanced. What is a Farseer? We kind of explained how their powers work, but a Farseer themselves is a crazy powerful psyker. Like, these people can bend reality around them, destroy entire ships if they need to, possess people, pull out souls, control the infinity circuits of a ship. They can pull ships by their will. They can create entire storms themselves. They can move, they can do geomancy, pyrokinesis. What are the other ones? What's the time manipulation they can do? They can do gravity manipulation. Yeah, you name it, they can probably do it. It is crazy. They're super space wizards, and when they're younger, they're way more powerful, and as they get older, their powers start to diminish a little bit.
As they get older, they start to become crystalline, and the oldest Farseers become essentially crystal statues it's called the Palace of Crystal Seers on the craft world. It's a place where the Farseers, their bodies once transformed into crystal, their soul then enters the infinity circuit and communes with everyone else, like that.
Now, here's where my first theory comes in. That crystalline body is essentially going to be used as soul stones afterwards.
That's an interesting idea.
Because we know that they get soul stones from Crone worlds, where fallen Eldar are. We don't know if those fallen Eldar are dead or possessed, but GW has never stated anything about them aside from they go there and get soul stones and leave. And they even trick rogue traders and humans alike to go to those worlds to get soul stones to then either trade or they just ambush the humans and take it anyway.
Exactly. So of these Farseers, Eldrad is the oldest and possibly strongest of all of them. The lore likes to tell us that he has unparalleled foretelling, prophetic abilities. However, the lore also says that he has screwed up just about everything he's ever tried. Eldrad is a fascinating contradiction because he is defined by his canonical inconsistencies more than anything else.
There is one more thing I want to bring up before we dive too deep into Eldrad, and that is how space-time works in Warhammer.
Oh, sweet Jesus.
The easiest way I could explain this is that there is a point that happens, so there is time that's happened that also spaghetti's out, and you're just in this one instance between two spaghettiifications. Oh gods. It is a fourth dimensional concept. There are thousands of different timelines happening at once, and everything that can manipulate time is all fighting to control it. So the Emperor is trying to control it, the Eldar are trying to control it, the Necrons are trying to control it, demons are trying to control it, Votann are vibing. Tau have no idea it's happening. Orcs can manipulate it too sometimes, depending on when they're written. Older lore, they could. Newer lore, they don't care anymore because they know that they could just screw it up. But in the book Master of Mankind, Aaron Densky-Bowden does a really good job of explaining how the Emperor sees time. And then in another book, Eldrad sees time in a very similar manner, where he sees thousands of different parallel timelines, and then he tries to pick and choose which ones will keep humans alive the longest.
Well, sometimes.
Yeah, exactly. Sometimes he just murders his own people for no reason or kills entire races.
Well, I mean, I'm sure we'll get into it because again, he's a man who's very complex, morally ambiguous, and the theories are just fucking fascinating about this guy, like why he does what he does.
But I just wanted to briefly explain how time kind of works
sure.
in 40K. When Necrons go back in time, there are certain things that have to happen. They're locked. Same with Eldrad and oh my god, what is that one guy's name? He has the scissors and he cuts through time. Grammaticus.
Oh, Grammaticus. Oh, we're going to talk about it a little bit. We're
We
going
have
to
to
at least
mention him.
mention Grammaticus, yeah, because he actually intersects with Eldrad.
But there are certain times and certain things that have to happen in 40K, but everything else is spaghettiification of timelines.
So, good Lord.
I tried.
Yeah, that's it. It gets wild. It gets wild. Eldrad, he's one of the oldest named characters in Warhammer 40K. He's been around a long time, so he has some really cool war gear. He carries what's called a Witchblade, which is a psychically active weapon, not too dissimilar than say from a Space Marine librarian's force weapon. It uses psychic energy to destroy its target. He wears a ghost helm, which allows him to essentially ignore some of the issues that plague most psychers, such as the perils of the warp and things of that nature.
Exploding and turning into a demon.
Right. He has a shuriken pistol, which is shuriken technology is something that Eldar uses. Gravitic. It's a gravitic weapon that fires monomolecularly sharp throwing stars. That's why it's called the shuriken pistol. But his two most important pieces of war gear is his armor and his staff. His armor is called the Armor of the Last Runes, and it is all Farseers and Warlocks carry what's called rune armor, which protects them. It gives them a very strong and invulnerable save on the tabletop. It creates a field of energy that protects them from incoming damage. Eldrad's is a little different. So Eldrad's, first of all, is just stronger. Like he has a better, it's better protection than any other Farseer.
It's built different.
I mean, it is. But it also contains these powerful runic scripts and wards. And anybody who can kind of understand those runes can sort of see it's got this almost poetic message about enduring until the final dying of the light, which of course is a Bob Dylan reference, or Dylan Thomas reference, actually, I think, now that I think about it. Anyway, it's one of the Dylans. Pretty sure it's Dylan Thomas. Then he's got his cool staff. Do you know the name of his staff, Alexis?
That is the staff of Uthamar.
Yes, it's not Ultramar.
Yeah.
It's Ulthamar.
It's totally different.
Totally, completely different. And the staff of Ulthamar is a big deal. It's made out of the purest Wraithbone. And it holds the spirit stones of the entire first Seer Council of Ulthwé. So he's got the souls of an entire group of Farseers in his staff, which is actually really cool and really strong. And it's one of the reasons why he kicks so much ridiculous amounts of ass. We will get into all of his ass-kicking moments, but in case anybody's curious, he fought Abaddon one-on-one, slit his throat, and then walked away like a goddamn Chad. So,
but didn't kill him.
Yeah, you know.
Double tap, people.
Eldrad makes a lot of mistakes. We know this. This is a true fact.
At least when what was it? Celestine went after him. Celestine pierced both his hearts and his spinal cord. And then Abaddon got emergency teleported aboard the Vengeful Spirit, and they had to use dark magic to save him. Like, she basically killed him, and he just had to get plot armored to the rescue.
The Staff of Ulthamar can tear through Terminator armor, including Abaddon's ancient suit of Terminator armor, as a representation of how strong it is. So, this would be a good time to pause and look at some super chats.
What? Yeah, you're right.
Biofoot 7874 has the 40K Lord
L's.
I'm not sure. Started a virtual league.
Or LS.
I'm not sure.
What is LS?
I don't know.
God, we're old, aren't we?
Sorry, I apologize. I don't understand this one, Biofoot, but frankly, I don't know. I don't know of any virtual leagues. Lore Seekers.
Maybe
Lore Seekers is what the LS stands for.
Oh, okay.
That's our group of community on the.
I think they mean for tabletop sim.
Yeah, I don't know. Do you know?
I don't know if they started.
Okay.
My apologies. Ask in the Discord.
That's the server nickname, by the way. Gary Garionson, thank you, sir. Ross, you love Star Trek. It's true. The Tau Starship Voyager lost in the Segmentum Pacificus. Who makes up the crew of the bridge? Oh my God. All right. Well, you got to have an ethereal as captain. You got to have a Kreutz, probably navigator, I'm guessing, or helmsman.
A Kreutz Spock.
Yeah, no.
Live long and eat face.
It would be hilarious if there was a Vespid on the bridge, just because Vespids are inherently amusing. I would say you got to have a Fire Warrior and an Air Cast on that bridge too, somewhere. I would actually make the Fire Warrior the Doctor just to make it more interesting and funny.
I think their Earth casts are doctors.
I know, that's why I want to make it the Fire Cast.
Okay, that's fair.
So because that's more interesting.
It'd be so mean.
And then
stop crying. You didn't give me anesthesia. Stop crying.
And it allows you to have fun running jokes like, I'm a Fire Warrior, not a doctor.
That's fair. That's fair.
That's the short version, Gary. It's a good question. And I do like the idea of blending a little bit of Star Trek in with 40K. Gideon Gleeful 95 asks, thoughts on yesterday's Eldar reveals? We're going to get into those at the end of the show.
I am stupid excited about them. They made a reference to Rogue Trader artwork, and I'm all for it.
Ooh, you have my attention.
So that's all the questions that we have for now.
Okay, all right. I should point out, so Eldrad is part of a lot of organizations. He's not just the leader of Ulthwé, but he's also part of what's called the Black Council, And the Black Council are Eldar that serve as an advisory role to the protectors of the Black Library, which is this really important and really obscure piece of lore about a vault of knowledge that is sought by extremely powerful people in the setting.
Like Armin.
Yeah, and it's hidden in the Eldar webway. So that's one thing that he's part of, is part of the Black Council. He's also on a thing called the Council of Coalition. This was a group in the 10th edition Codex. They talk about this. They sought to unite all of the Eldari, but instead they got to this big conflict where some of the Phoenix Lords fought some of the other Phoenix Lords over ideological problems.
Yeah. Oopsie daisy.
How
did he not see that coming?
Eldrad he sees it all coming, or does he? We're not sure, because almost everything he touches seems to fall apart. Anyway,
he joined the Ynnari, then left.
Right. He was also part of a group called the Coven of Isha, which, according to a novel, is a secret pact of assistance against chaos that is formed between certain Farseers and the Ordo Xenos of the Inquisition. And he's also part of the Ghost Wind, which was a group of multi-craft world strike force, basically to defend the webway against the 13th Black Crusade.
Yeah,
a lot of different things he's been a part of.
He's also been a part of like Gilliman's council for a little bit. He killed Gilliman. He's talked to Celestine. He has contacted multiple inquisitors. He's known by many different rogue traders. And for the most part, he wants to help the Imperium defeat chaos. He views the Imperium as a problem, but not as big of a problem as,
Professor Schapp points out that the Coven of Isha comes from C.S. Goto's Warrior Coven novel.
Yeah,
the C.S. Goto novels are really, really not good, but they exist, and so far, that's why I just thought it was worth mentioning.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh. So Eldrad was born, like I said, 10,000 years ago, pre-Imperium. It is mentioned several times that he foresaw the coming of the Great Devourer before it ever entered the galaxy. Alexis, what is the Great Devourer?
Well, it's me when I see like nachos. Anyway, I tried to do that as dry as possible and I couldn't. But the Great Devourer is the Tyranids. And this is actually a little bit interesting because I want to know if he knew that the Silent King was fighting them.
That's a good question. I don't know. I don't know.
See, we could have so many theories about this guy, and because he knows the Silent King. Like, he is aware of him because he's aware of all Necrons. I don't want to go on a giant rant about how many people Eldrad knows, but it's way too many, and the galaxy seems very small around him.
Eldrad is a web that connects a lot of things. And again, part of this is just because he's been alive for so freaking long. When we talk about some of the later things, this guy plays, he's probably the only person I can think of other than the Emperor that plays long games. There was a token he was given during the Heresy era that he held on to for 2,000 years before he needed to use it, and then he used it. And I was like, that's a long time to keep a card in your pocket before you play it on the table.
There's also the random deal he made with what are they? The Death Watch.
Well, yeah.
Like, he's made deals with things that want him dead.
Right. Well, he's made his exploits start back during the Horus Heresy because Eldrad was able to foresee the Age of Darkness. He knew that the galaxy was going to be riven into with civil war, and he tried to head it off. And he tried to head it off first by having tea with Fulcrum.
Yeah, maybe she should have done that a little bit earlier. He couldn't see that one coming, I guess.
Too Tough points out this, and I wanted to use his phrasing because it's a good one. But yeah, he had tea with Fulcrum, And it didn't go well for a lot of reasons. One of which was that Eldrad didn't know or hadn't foreseen or didn't understand. It's really an open question. For some reason, Eldrad did not seem to understand that telling Fulgrim that his brother had to die was going to be a conversation killer.
You know, just every now and then you sit down with your best friend and you're just like, I hate your brother.
I mean, he also apparently didn't understand the depth to which Fulgrim had been corrupted by the demon inside the Lair Blade. Anyway, yep. that meeting went poorly.
He also didn't. So I blame a little bit of his demeanor at that meeting on the Lair Blade itself.
Oh yeah,
because Fulgrim was being affected by it. All the Eldari were being affected by it because it's a Slaanesh greater demon in it.
Sure, absolutely.
And yeah, then he just, you know, the weirdest thing about this meeting though is he actually made food for them.
Yeah.
Like he actually set up a buffet for them, which is just hilarious to think about. He's like, all right, make sure the cupcakes are done right at this exact second. You're late. Dang it.
The hobbies of young Eldrad are actually quite interesting. He liked, according to one of the novels, he enjoyed sitting in his room and playing guitar. And when I say guitar, there's a Eldar instrument called a moon lyre. And the moon lyre is basically guitar. But just imagine young, moody Eldrad sitting in his bedroom, like, you know, composing a song.
Become so numb.
Right, like he was that guy, which is absolutely wild.
But one of the things that actually bugs me though is, and we only know this because of hindsight, is that Eldrad right at that point, if he just committed to the fight, could have killed Fulgrim.
He could have. If there's of all, so there's so many moments that we're going to discuss with Eldrad where you guys or us are going to be sitting there thinking to yourself, well, damn, he could have just done X and solved the problem. This is the first time that we're all going to be like, Eldrad, you should have just killed him.
Instead, he uses an avatar of Cain. He sacrifices an avatar of Cain instead of just handling the problem himself. He uses an avatar.
I mean, it's a pretty wild moment in the Heresy. He also how'd
they hide the avatar for that long?
I don't know.
Like, I'm just imagining the avatar like hiding in the bushes, like, oh, it's time.
Who knows? Maybe he was waiting on the other side of a webway portal. I'm not sure.
He's just hanging off a cliff waiting for the signal.
A Wraith Lord was also lost in that battle against Fulgrim. But anyway, he also intervened with a group called the Cabal. Now, the Cabal is a very mysterious organization. I don't want to devote a lot of time talking to it because it's a big old can of worms.
But go ahead, explain it. I explained the timeline. You explained this one.
The Cabal is, the short version is, they're a group of mixed Xenos and human species that claim to have battled chaos for a lot longer than humanity's even been around. They tried to turn the Alpha Legion to their cause and may have succeeded. Maybe. It's with the Alpha Legion, you just never fucking know. And the Cabal
succeed with some, it probably didn't succeed with all.
If you haven't heard of the Cabal, it's because they pretty much only show up in Dan Abnett's novels of the Horus Heresy. So if you want to know more, go check out there. You're not going to see him in a codex, and you're not going to see him in a rule book because they just never have appeared there. So
they're part of the Abnett verse.
They seem to be. Anyway, so Eldrad was associated with this group as well, the Cabal, but he actually he got involved with one of their agents, a guy called John Grammaticus, who is a perpetual. Another thing you will see mostly referenced only in Dan Abnett books.
But Ross, what is a perpetual?
Perpetuals are essentially people who are immortals. They cannot be killed by normal means. They will just kind of get better That doesn't mean that they can't die. Malkador was a perpetual, and he definitely died. Alianus Pius was a perpetual. Vulcan, the Primarch, was a perpetual. Anyway, sorry, where was I? So Grammaticus. Grammaticus is an agent. He's a perpetual and an agent of the Cabal. And Eldrad basically talked him out of killing Vulcan. Because Grammaticus was going to kill Vulcan. And instead, it gets very complicated. and Eldrad basically saved Vulcan's life by convincing Grammaticus to not do it. Again, it's very complicated. I don't want to get too much further into it, but Eldrad and Vulcan have a relationship. They spoke. They actually gained kind of a respect for one another. And Vulcan gave Eldrad a token. It was a drake tooth from his armor that identified Eldrad as a friend of that Primarch and a friend of his legion.
Now, I do want to preface one thing about the Salamanders. I know there's all the memes of them being like, oh, brother, hug, and we're so friendly. The Salamanders hate Eldar above all other Xenos. They absolutely hate them. They burn them alive at all chances they get. Eldrad earned his favor, which is crazy to think about.
And I should also point out that the Cabal, that thing we were talking about, after Eldrad convinced Grammaticus not to kill Vulcan, Eldrad was like, these guys are going to be a problem. Maybe not today, maybe not tomorrow, but they're going to be a problem. And I can solve that problem right now. He did the thing that we're always saying, Eldrad, you should just do the thing. Eldrad assassinated the entire Cabal.
Mm-hmm.
You know, so there's one time where he took decisive, swift, direct action based on one of his prophecies, and it seems to have worked out. So,
should I do this? Yes, maybe. Maybe I should do this.
And that's the majority of his Horus Heresy era shenanigans. Well, there's a few other minor things, but I think those are the big notes.
Yep. There were some other characters he ran into, some other Primarchs that know of him. Fulgrim tried to fight him again, I think, at some point, but nothing really of note happened.
So then we get to the post-Heresy era. We get to the War of the Beast. Would you like to summarize the War of the Beast, Alexis?
Big Dumb attacks Terra. But anyway, The War of the Beast is a series of novels based around the Beast. The Beast is an orc that is so big and so powerful that it rivals Primarchs. It is not the biggest orc, and it's known as the Primorc, but it isn't the biggest orc in the history of 40k. That belongs to the one that nearly killed the Emperor.
Urlak Urg.
Urlak Urg is the biggest. The next biggest is arguably Tuska the Demon Killer, and then it would go to Ghazghkull. But this war boss, Primarch was bigger than Ghazghkull. So on a scale, he's pretty big. There's a bunch of them. They are so intelligent, and they unified so many orcs to fight Terra, and Terra was still healing from the devastation of the heresy. And while this was all happening, orcs just suddenly appeared over Terra, which is kind of crazy. And I think GW kind of forgot that Mars has like anti-teleportation technology, but whatever. Orcs did it. Sure. But this whole walk comes in and they try to ask Terra to surrender, which is hilarious. Needless to say, Vulcan and the Beast fight. Vulcan dies, killing the Beast. Other stuff, shenanigans happen. Eldrad gets involved. The orcs are defeated, and as they're being more and more killed, they're getting dumber and dumber. But their intelligence at the beginning was super high. They were talking fluent Gothic with no Cockney accent. They were able to teleport things directly on target. They were able to salvage technology immediately and almost perfectly. But as they started getting defeated, their technology got gradually worse and worse, and then eventually they were all defeated.
So when you say Vulcan died, let's be really clear. He's a perpetual, so
he got better.
For a certain value of he died. But what really, I think the major event for Vulcan in that is he ended up leaving his legion, abandoning them. That's what Micah points out.
Yes.
So, oops. Well, since I clicked on it, Isong asks, do perpetuals or humans that authors want to be like elves? I guess. I'm not sure. You'd have to ask Dan Abnett about it. It's kind of his baby.
We should really get him on here and have him explain what the hell a perpetual is.
I would love to have Dan on. He's a great dude. He's a very, very talented writer. So I'd love to have him on. If you like Guardians of the Galaxy, you can thank Dan Abnett just as one of his many contributions to pop culture. Anyway, to go back a little bit with Vulcan, like you said, that it's a big deal that Eldrad earned his trust. So to provide a little bit more context, Vulcan had been captured and tortured to the point of madness by Conrad Kurz. There's at least one guy in our comment section who is a huge Conrad stan. He and I have this kind of ongoing debate,
bitter rivalry
debate. I would say respectful debate about whether Conrad is redeemable or not. And one of the things I like to point to is that Conrad tortured Vulcan to the point of madness.
Look, who hasn't tortured one of their brothers? Come on.
So Eldrad's intervention with John Chromaticus healed Vulcan's shattered psyche. So that's one reason why he and Vulcan get along. And secondly, he actually guided Vulcan through the webway to get back to Terra, to return. So that's two big favors. Like I can imagine Vulcan be like, you know what, you did me a solid. I'm gonna hook you up. And so he gave him this token, the Drake Tooth, which is gonna come into play right now during the Beast Arises, or War of the Beast. Actually, not Beast Arises' first novel of the series. And
yeah, the names. There's also another war called War of the Beast that came out in like 9th edition.
Oh, wild. Okay, well, so at one point during the War of the Beast that we're discussing, Eldrad helped a group of Harlequins navigate to Terra, and he sent with them to speak because they wanted to speak to the Emperor about the situation, and knowing that Eldar are not exactly welcome guests on Terra, this is when Eldrad pulled out the Drake Tooth token, and he'd kept this for over 2,000 years. That's how much time had passed, and was like, now is the time. Take this, show it to the custodians. They'll know what to do. The story of the Harlequins and their Shadowseer and the stuff they did on Terra, that's not important. What's important is that Eldrad got them there and used his cool token to do it, because this show is about Ulthran. And by golly, if we get started on tangents with Eldrad, we're never going to stop.
Yeah, that's a giant spider web.
Oh my gosh.
His own multiverse of shit that he does.
So many things. My lord. Micah points out they appeared in the throne room and killed a bunch of squad custodians like it was nothing. Well, Harlequins are very dangerous foes. It's not,
depending on the writer.
Well, they've always been strong. Let's put it that way.
Yeah.
I don't think there's ever been a depiction of Harlequins where they were easily beaten. So, anyway,
although I don't think they actually appeared in the throne room. They appeared near it and fought custodies.
We're getting dangerously close to going down that tangent.
That's
aren't
a
we?
tangent. That's a tangent.
It's so tempting, y'all. And we gotta rein ourselves in. God damn it.
We got this.
So, you love orcs, Alexis. I know you do.
I do love orcs. They're very important to me.
How is Eldrad Ulthran involved with the rise? Oh, wait. So Kovu? Okay. Is Kovu okay?
No, my headset just died for a second while it's plugged in.
Huh, that's weird.
Okay, well, it's fixed.
So, enlighten us about Eldrad's intervention in the rise of Ghazghkull Magorek Thraka.
So there is a very particular orc, okay, that got shot in the head, and his head exploded. Okay, now something happened to that round so that it didn't completely obliterate Ghazghkull's head, and a certain voice started talking to Ghazghkull. Now, Ghazghkull believes that voice to be Gorkamorka. the orc gods, and he was told to bring all the orcs together so that he could fight the greatest battle in the history of forever. So that was Eldrad. That was Eldrad that did that.
Yeah, to give you guys
accidentally created one of the strongest threats to the galaxy.
According to the lore, Eldrad foresaw a orc wog that would threaten several craft worlds of the Eldar, of the Eldari. And in order to stop this, he manipulated events to where one war boss was favored over another during a power struggle. And the war boss that we don't know anything about is the one who would have led a wog against the Eldari. And instead, the other one, the one that lived, was Ghazghkull. And he led an assault on the Imperial world known as Armageddon, which was the war that Alexis was talking about, the biggest battle to ever be fought ever, which is where that ended up, was Ghazghkull got sent to Armageddon. Without Eldrad Ulthran, there would be no Ghazghkull Maghrek Thraka. So, just in case you didn't know. Micah says this is a classic Eldrad L. Isn't it? I mean, he and the Eldar made out pretty well. I mean, I don't know if the Imperium suffered.
They made out. Well, anyway.
Shit.
I have to make the dumb jokes when I can.
I don't know if that was a loss for him necessarily. It doesn't seem like a great idea to us, but that's because the Imperium is the protagonist of 40K. We see a lot of things through the Imperium's perspective. Yeah. If you saw it from Eldrad's perspective, I'm sure he was like, woohoo, when he saw what happened. He sacrificed millions of human lives to preserve thousands, tens of thousands even, of Eldar lives.
Yeah. Also, guys, if you do want to support Lorebeards and what we do here, you could use a super chat feature, ask us a bunch of questions. If things aren't making sense and you want to know what the heck we're talking about and go in more in depth, or you just want to ask random questions, you can do so by using the super chat feature. It really helps us out and shows us that you guys enjoy the show, as yeah.
Super chats are what allow us to keep making Lorebeards content for you guys. And so that's the best way to support us. And it directly supports us too. I mean, that goes right to me and Alexis. So we're big fans of that particular feature. So how many so if I ask you this question, Alexis, how many craft worlds do you believe that Eldrad has saved during his lifetime?
Okay, so during the fall, he told a lot of the craft worlds to actually move away from the Eye of Terra. Before it was the Eye of Terra. So just on that alone, probably a few dozen.
Okay, so since after the fall of the Eldar.
So after the fall, he saved the Yellow Boys. He saved no, he didn't save Malantai. For some reason, he didn't think to contact Malantai. I guess that's just, he's like, whatever, I didn't like those guys. But out of the ones we know, I know he saved one from the Death Watch, one from the Ultramarines, one from the Tyranids, another from Orcs, and then countless from Ghazghkull.
And he's also saved one from the Crud.
Yes, the Crud, who are definitely canon, maybe.
So Eldrad saved a bunch of craft worlds. It's surprising he's not more popular with his own people, frankly, because he saved a shitload of craft worlds. He warned craft world Iyanden, which are the Yellow Boys.
Yellow Boys, yeah.
Talk about. He warned them about the Tyranid invasion of Hyfleet Kraken that was coming their way. Kraken. And because of this warning, Iyanden was able to survive. They didn't. I mean, it's not like they were unscathed. They got pretty badly screwed up, but they at least survived.
They are almost all Wraith constructs now. It's kind of crazy.
He also saves Craftworld Samehan. Samehan from the HRUD. And we mentioned a few other things. He's been a busy boy, saving a lot of different places and things. And he also was part of the resurrection of Rubute Guilliman.
Yep.
The Gathering Storm and the Awakening of Iniad and the Return of Guilliman are all linked together, and Eldrad isn't part of that. Is a big part of that.
One of the big things is the resurrection of Ynid, or the Awakening of Ynid, is actually one of the biggest flops that he has ever had, because he almost did it, and for some reason he didn't just kill the Deathwatch captain that was going to come after him. Instead, he antagonized him. And it's like, Artemis. Bro, why? Just kill him. If you just killed him, they wouldn't know where you were. Artemis was the only one who knew where you were going to do this ritual.
Watch Captain Artemis is an interesting guy, and I'd love to talk about him at some point, because he was created for the Inquisitor 54 millimeter game back when the Deathwatch was just a Index of Astartes article in White Dwarf.
Yep.
And Artemis has gone on to become a much bigger character, and like the big thing that you can lay on Watch Captain Artemis is that he got involved with this moment with Eldrad. He interrupted Eldrad.
Now, in all fairness, there is a good chance that when Ynid awoken fully, that Ynid would have killed all Eldar in the entire galaxy and then rebirthed them. So Artemis saved billions of Eldari? I don't think that's what the Deathwatch wanted to do.
Well, I want to talk about this ritual that he was going to do, because it's pretty wild. Basically, Eldrad senses a stirring in the souls of the Infinity Circuit that whisper of the coming of Iniad or Inaid or she pronounces it different. It's fine. Iniad, I'm going to call him Iniad, the god of the dead, is coming back. So Eldrad's like, okay. Supposedly, according to prophecy, Iniad only is going to come back when the last Eldari dies and gains enough power to free to destroy Slaanesh and free all the souls that are have been consumed by Slaanesh in eternal torment. However, Eldrad was like, yeah, let's not wait. Let's do it now.
Yeah.
So many people would call this audacious, even reckless, which is weird to say of a guy who's 10,000 years old. But yeah, he did this kind of weird, reckless ritual. He chose this desolate moon over an imperial world, and it's got all these psychoactive crystal sands on the world that's going to help him like resonate with echoes of the fall of the Eldar Empire, I should say.
It definitely wasn't the Dune planet.
No. And he was working with the Harlequins, which he does quite a bit, just like back during the War of the Beast.
Keep in mind, the Harlequins aren't the best allies, because they like seeing destruction just as much as they like seeing things get saved.
Well, there's some fascinating... I really cannot wait to talk about the fan theories, because there's some fascinating fan theories about the Harlequins and Eldrad and their connection. It will blow your mind, Alexis. I'm telling you now.
I'm waiting. I'm excited.
So this ritual, he hooks up with the Harlequins and steals the crystal statues of Farseers from multiple craft worlds. Just straight up stole them. The fossilized remnants of his fellow Farseers, takes them to this place, puts them in a sacred circle, channels the Infinity Circuit's energies through them, and creates this massive psychic flare. This like a flare gun or a sparkler on New Year's Eve. Like, hey, Iniad, wake up!
In all fairness, it worked.
Well, this is the ritual that Artemis interrupted. This is where Artemis gets involved. And Eldrad, of course, tries to talk to him. Eldrad says, like, hey, buddy, you don't really understand what's happening here. You see, I'm trying to do a thing. And Artemis is like, no, die, Xenos. Die, perfidious Eldar. It's worth noting that the Imperium's perception of the Eldar is that they are a deceitful and elusive race who cannot be trusted under any circumstances, which is really useful when you have a 10,000-year-old guy trying to tell you about his prophecies. So So because of this belief on behalf of Artemis, he interrupts the ritual. He refuses any attempt to parlay, and I think Artemis kills the Death Jester, the Harlequin Death Jester.
Yep.
He's like just please just stop, and he's like bam, blows his head. Anyway, so the ritual goes catastrophically wrong. Eldrad barely escapes with his life, runs through a webway portal. The moon gets all completely messed up, and although Ynnari does kind of like roll over in his sleep, he doesn't yet awaken. That's going to come later with Ivrain.
Yeah.
But this was an attempt. An attempt was made to awaken a god.
One of the other things that Eldrad did during this is betray the Harlequins, because he left them there.
Well, I mean,
he was just like, "You guys got it. See you."
So there's
shoot! I didn't see this coming.
I don't know if I would characterize that as a betrayal, because frankly, the Harlequins know the webway better than anyone.
Yes, but also Eldrad ran immediately.
Well,
again, a problem he could easily solve.
I don't know, man. Like this, it's this Eldrad's. He is a fascinating contradiction. All these canonical he sees all but can never fix anything. It's weird.
Wait, you got to say your catchphrase though. It's complicated.
It's complicated. It's very complicated. I think we have a couple of super chats to read. Why don't we get to those while we're talking?
I think we just got the 3. There we go.
Boop. 3. Super Warlock. Super Warlock. Thank you, sir. Gives us a cat face emoji. Appreciate you. Or emoticon. Scallywag 11. Oh, welcome, name. Sir. Good name. How would Eldrad react to a blank like Jurgen from the Comus Arcane series? That was a great stream. Got me to read those books. Thank you. Hey, man, the Comus Arcane books are worth reading. I'm really glad you're digging into them.
Eldrad hates them. He does not like being near them. He outright refuses to work with solitaires. Like, he does not like them. Solitaires, for those of you that don't know, are a special breed of Eldar that are blanks. And they're usually killed immediately by the Craftworlders. But if they get taken by Harlequins, they get turned into, well, yeah. And they're incredibly good when a certain demon is coming after you, to have a few of them.
I'm going to agree with Alexis. I think Eldrad would avoid a blank as much as possible, and if he were forced to be near a blank, I imagine he would be pretty hostile. Blanks are, for all intents and purposes, like anti-psychic. They're the field that they generate around themselves, their soulless aura, if you will, disrupts warp, sorcery, and psychic energies, which are both things that Eldrad likes to, mess around with. So yeah, he would be, I think, just avoidant for the most part. Hannah 1439, thank you. Oh, great, Judge Death icon there. Cypher stream at some point. Oh yeah, Dark Angels, baby. Cypher.
We do need to talk about Cypher.
Hell yes, I would enjoy that greatly.
Still, one of my favorite Cypher moments ever comes from one of the Knight Errant books, where they're going on Caliban after maybe during the betrayal of the Dark Angels, and Cypher's just like, "Hey, I know why you're here. You need to leave. Here's the thing you're looking for. Bye." And it's never addressed.
So there was a comment, by the way, Mr. Mike Hates Peasants, which is a great name. He says there were a lot of Death Watch, and that may be a good reason why Eldrad wanted to get the hell out of there. I mean, it's fair. Absolutely fair.
Weirdly enough, the Death Watch don't have any anti-Eldar technology.
Well, I mean,
aside from just gunning them down.
Yeah, they have bolters, lots of bolters.
But like for Tyranids, they have Hellfire. For Necrons, they actually use the Satan Phase Blades against them. For like the other minor races, it's said that they have other tech for them. For Eldar, it's just like, got some Force Swords.
I mean, it's an interesting point. As one of the guys who's done a lot of work with the Death Watch, their main focus seems to be on inimical alien threats that are endangering large swaths of Imperial territory.
Yeah.
Necrons and Tyranids fall under that category.
Same with orcs.
Eldari are either very subtle about what they do,
Mm-hmm.
or only strike at one or two planets typically.
Yeah, or they just kill like a lord and leave.
Now the Drukhari, the Dark Eldar, they can raid several planets at once. But the fact of the matter is, because of the way the webway works and the way those guys can just kind of go in and out of reality, by the time the Deathwatch shows up, it's rare that they actually can even find Eldar to do something. So I mean, you've got a point. But I can tell you
also,
that
like, Eldar are not a galactic threat.
Not really. They're a dying race. So it's an interesting point, nevertheless, and it's certainly one that was my thinking at the time when I was working on the Deathwatch was that they were focused on Tyranids and Necrons because obviously, and orcs because obviously.
Makes total sense. But there's like no anti-Eldari grenade, like there's an anti-fungal grenade.
Well, there's psych out grenades. So
there are psych out grenades.
Yeah,
but those are rare in the Deathwatch, common in the Sisters of Silence.
And Grey Knights.
Yep. Which is weird because if somebody just bats it back at them, it messes them up.
Listen, I didn't write that codex, man. I can't tell you. Anyway, so where were we? Right. So after the resurrection of Guilliman. No, this is before the resurrection of Guilliman, isn't it? Yeah. Let me just double check. Yeah. Okay.
The Deathwatch thing was before Guilliman, and
the Deathwatch was before Guilliman. Okay, that's why I was just double checking that. And so the awakening ritual that he tried to do did succeed in a way that Eldrad had not anticipated. You're going to hear that a lot. Something happened that Eldrad did not anticipate.
I have the unparalleled ability to see the future. What?
Yeah. So the failed ritual, the pulse from the failed ritual goes all the way to Cormorag, and that's where it finds this gladiatrix named Yvraine, and Yvraine is the one that eventually does get Iniad to rise and is the facilitator for the birth of a new Eldar god, a god of the dead.
And she died at the time too.
Well, yes. So Eldrad's messing around got Yvraine in action to bring Iniad out, which then led to Guilliman returning.
Yep.
It's a chain
Thanks,
of events.
Artemis.
It's a Rube Goldberg machine of prophecies and attempting to fix things, and it ends up at a place where, who knows.
Maybe that's what he was really trying to do the entire time.
He's a little bit like Pee Wee Herman. He crashes the bike, rolls across the lawn, stands up, brushes himself off, and says, "I meant to do that." Yeah. So after all that happened, Eldrad was basically kicked out of his own craft world. They exiled him.
I wonder why.
They were like,
what do you mean I can't just steal ancient Eldar and use them for a botched ritual for a guy that I antagonized to come after me, told him exactly where I was, and then, he came after me. I could have not seen that coming.
There was a pretty significant trial of Eldrad by the Farseers of Ulthway, and it almost led to civil war, but they eventually said, listen, you've got to go. And so Eldrad packed his bags, left Ulthway, and went to the Ynnari. He resigned. Well, he was stripped of his position on the council. And then he was basically forbidden from returning. Which, for someone who has been the high Farseer of Ulthway for over 10 millennium, it's an amazing fall from grace. It's ludicrous. You're just like, what? Really? But yeah, he accepted it. Eldrad was like, okay, fine. I guess I'll go play with the Ynnari for a while.
Now, at this time, he did meet another like super influential character, but they never interacted, and it annoyed me because this could have been a really cool moment.
Who is that character?
He met Ethereal Stern,
right?
and then doesn't talk to them. It's kind of like how
not a word.
The thing that also bugs me is this is related. When Gilliman has met Celestine multiple times and has never talked to her. There is artwork of them together. She gave him the iron halo that she had. Like, that's her iron halo on him. And he's just like, yeah, my dad's not a god. That's a literal angel. I'm not talking to her.
I mean, I would love to do an episode on Gilliman because his story is fascinating and his reawakening. It would be quite a shock, just from what he knew to where he ended up. So
there's also a Primarch that we need to talk about before he gets revealed in the next few months. Pro Turbo might actually come back to the 40k universe.
Perturabo, oh my god! Well, I'm down for an episode on Perturabo. He's an interesting guy.
Peter Turbo,
Purdy as I call him, but
he's very purdy.
Remember, no one hates Perturabo more than himself. All right, where were we? So yes, he goes off. Eldrad goes off to join the Ennead. Join the Ynnari, which is the name of the group of Ivrain's cult, if you will, of the god of the dead. And he started helping them try to find these things called the Crone Swords, which are these special blades that were lost after the fall of the Eldar. They were scattered across what are called Crone worlds, which are essentially demon worlds. They're worlds that have been absorbed into the Eye of Terror that used to be Eldar worlds. And now, go ahead.
There is something I want to add to this. This is loosely canon. I have to specify this, okay? It is at this time that Yvrain met and talked to Admiral Spire to send him to go and get one. And in the Gathering Storm books, she has the one that Admiral Spire got for her. Admiral Spire's actions in Battlefleet Gothic Armada 2, while canon, don't necessarily name everything he's done, but we do know that was one of the two things that Admiral Spire has done in the actual lore. Like, when I say actual lore, I mean campaign or codexes.
So this is something I know a little bit about because I wrote Battlefleet Gothic Armada 1, helped create Admiral Spire as a character. There is this artifact called the Hand of Darkness, and that comes from the Gothic War, which is Battlefleet Gothic Armada 1, that Abaddon was searching for, and the Imperial Navy had to try to get involved to try and stop him from finding that. That Hand of Darkness, that specific thing, is what Eldrad was able to sort of foresee. He knows where it was, where they could find it, and that's how Spire got involved, because it's related to Mortarion. It's there's a plague planet where this thing was located. It basically, what is the Hand of Darkness? It decays anything it touches. It's like it's connected strongly with the warp, and Abaddon used it to unlock the Blackstone fortresses. It's like the key to get inside.
Oh, maybe it's a key. Maybe he just used it to melt the door.
It seems to work as a key. Let's just put it that way.
Yes, the key. Blah, blah, blah. It worked.
Like I said, it's very. There's a lot of things with Eldrad that are just super complicated. But yes, they got the. Sorry. They got the Hand of Darkness.
And then they had to get another sword, and
that's where they failed. They failed to try to get the last sword. They failed.
Yep.
And after that, go ahead.
I think the last sword is currently held by Shalaxi Hellbane, which is the greatest huntress of Slaanesh. But I could be wrong about that. I know that Yvrain gathered a team to go after it, and because Shalaxi was hunting Yvrain at the time, and Shalaxi just butchered all of them except for the two important characters, which is Ethereal Stern and Yvrain, who lived.
And so Eldrad forms his own group called the Exiles, which are renegade Farseers. Again, joins another group. You know, Eldrad's a very social guy. He likes to be in group. He likes to be around people.
Do you think that all of his groups are like, this is my brain, how my brain works. You know how we have like in the Marvel comics, we have Sword, Shield, the New Avengers, the Ancient Avengers, and you know, all of these other teams. Do you think he's just like an ancient Terran fan of like the old teams and was just like, yeah, I'm gonna make my own?
I mean, maybe. There's so many wild theories about him, but just let me get to the end of the what I know. Yep. Sorry. So we're almost there, guys. So they couldn't find the last Crone Sword, and this is where Eldrad kind of gets tired of the Ynnari. He's like, okay, listen, Yvrain, you're just grasping at straws. You're sacrificing your own people to try and collect all these swords. This is not working. And, you know, like a hypocrite, he just says, well, I'm going to leave. I'm going back home. I'm going to Ulthran. So for a while, Eldrad thought that that Yvrain's path was a very important path that was going to lead around or away from the Doom of the Eldar, which is a event called the Rana Dandra. It's kind of like a Ragnarok final battle where all the Phoenix Lords show up and they duke it out with Slaanesh. Anyway, it's something that Eldrad is desperate to avoid. He doesn't want that.
But your brain wants.
Yeah. So he's Eldrad's like, okay, I'm leaving. He goes back to Ulthway, and Ulthway is apparently like, yep, cool. Here you go. You may return.
You know that whole exile thing.
This is the 10th edition codex. The 10th edition codex. He's back. He's returned to Ulthway and is now in charge.
GW just
I know
upending lore.
I know
that's completely out of the question. They have never done that in the history of forever.
I know that is.
They've
insane.
Never retconned something complete to this extent. That's ridiculous. This is a joke about the female custodians. Anyway.
All right.
Or my favorite joke. It's the Rogel Dorn, the tank that's been there since the Heresy. It's not playable in the Heresy.
So let's talk about some of the more obscure pieces of official lore before we get into the headcanon.
Yeah.
So originally, Eldrad died in 2003 or 2004. Originally.
Yep.
There was the 13th Black Crusade that came out at that time, which was sort of the capstone of 4th edition. Established that Eldrad died. He went on board a captured Blackstone fortress, sensed a dark presence at the core, discovered a portion of Slaanesh herself physically manifesting inside the Blackstone fortress. And this is a direct quote, attempted to escape, but was pulled into one of Slaanesh's gaping holes. I didn't write it, to be clear.
I'm okay with it. Look, I have Slaanesh tattooed on my arm. I know what she's about.
His body was destroyed and his soul supposedly was devoured by the Chaos God, but they did have like a little almost post-credit scene type thing where the spirit stones on his armor went dark, but some remained lit even after his supposed consumption by Slaanesh.
Yep.
Which caused many people to speculate that Eldrad was not, in fact, actually dead.
Eldrad will be returning.
Yes. Question mark.
In 10th edition.
Yeah. 6th edition 40K completely retconned this event. The 13th Black Crusade of 2003-2004 is no longer.
Add to that real quick.
Yeah.
Because there's another cool moment in this, because when Eldrad died, this is important. Oh my god, his name just completely left my mind. The one with the giant gun scythe. Mungden Ra declared that he was going to kill Abaddon to avenge him, and went after Abaddon, and they fought, and then that entire story was just completely dropped, and Mungden Ra's rivalry with Abaddon, or he wanted to kill him, is just gone. It's gone. It's never mentioned again.
So it's this event, the 13th Black Crusade is essentially the Storm of Chaos. If you know the Storm of Chaos for Warhammer Fantasy, the 13th Black Crusade of 2003, 2004 is the same thing. It was this big deal that ultimately Games Workshop decided never actually happened. So it's a alternative timeline to the canonical actual timeline of 40K. What's really crazy is that's when I was working at the headquarters of Games Workshop. I was there, like, don't speak to me of the old magic, which I was there when it began.
So one of the funny things is how GW tried to retcon the original 13th Black Crusade by saying that was an advanced fleet, and they mistaked Abaddon in it. And it's like, oh, come on, no, they didn't.
Well, ever since 2017, when they came out with Gathering Storm and all that led up to the fall of Cadia, that is the real canonical 13th Black Crusade. So
I wish they were brave enough to kill off the entirety of the Space Wolves during. It was so close to happening. It would have been so cool to have them completely reborn as Primaris and be the first chapter all Primaris. But no, GW is cowards.
There is some references that say Eldrad's original birth name was Eldrad Nuirasha, which is interesting. And it makes it does bring up some more questions, like, was he born on Ulthway, or did he come to Ulthway from somewhere else?
I still want to know when he was born, because he talks about the war in heaven as if he was there.
So this different name, though, is only in like a couple of character profiles, very obscure. This is one of those I had to dig for, and I can tell you, I'm like, I feel like they just forgot about this or didn't want to ever talk about it again. So I don't think it means anything, but it's interesting nevertheless. Also, as Farseers age, their bodies gradually crystallize due to their prolonged exposure to psychic energies in the warp and things like that. Eldrad, being 10,000 years old, has had a lot of prolonged exposure. So his skin is showing visible crystallization in the more recent lore about him, which means that he is on the way to becoming fossilized.
Now, this begs the question, if he could just take his soul stone and just put it on somebody else and have him possess them.
I still don't know if that's a real thing.
Well, we know that is the thing with the Phoenix Lords, where their personalities take over.
And there's a theory that Eldrad is a Phoenix Lord, which is interesting.
Yes, there is.
So there's a theory that says that Eldrad is actually one of the Phoenix Lords because he's as old as they are. He is as important as they are to the Eldar, and he fits a niche that the Phoenix Lords do not have. The Phoenix Lords, of course, are all based on the aspect temples of the Asuryani culture, but the aspect temples do not have or do not represent the Farseers. So if you want to think of it as the Phoenix Lords are representative of different parts of the Eldar, then it makes sense that he would be a Phoenix Lord. Just he's the Seer Council Phoenix Lord, if you will.
That's actually always been my theory about him, is he is the Phoenix Lord of Farseers.
Well, we talked about how the staff of Ulthamar, not Ultramar, Ulthamar contains the souls of the entire Seer Council, and he just walks around with it. I mean, that means he carries the collective wisdom and psychic energy of an entire cabal or group of I guess generations. I'm not sure what to say, of dead Farseers every time he goes into battle. It's not just a weapon; it's a mobile spirit stone shrine containing multiple ancient souls that he can draw on for power. The ethical implications of this are complex, to say the least, because I mean, he stole Farseer corpses essentially for his ritual, to try and reawaken the Ennead, and he just walks around with their souls inside of his staff as batteries. Is he honoring the Farseers, or is he just
using them?
Yeah, it's a.
We also have one weird thing about Eldrad is he's not really religious as much as the other Eldar, where other Eldar temples dedicate themselves to the service of certain gods, like the oh my god, the Howling Banshees to Cain.
Okay, just to clarify, the temples are not to gods.
No, they're to an aspect, but
correct.
I'm using
all of those
the Howling Banshees as they worship Cain.
Well, but that's the thing, is that every aspect temple is for Cain. They're all aspects of Cain.
Yeah. But it's so weird that he has never done anything for Cain.
Oh no, God no.
Well, literally in this case, God no.
There's an interesting connection between him and Segurok, which we'll get into. But yeah, he doesn't seem to have a connection to Cain specifically.
But wait, who is Kegarath?
Well, Segurok and Ennead are the two gods that Eldrad is connected to. Segurok is also called the Laughing God, and is the god of the Harlequins. According to the Eldar, it is their only living deity after the fall of the Eldar. Their other gods all either got destroyed, captured, or shattered into dozens of pieces.
They sharded themselves.
Sharded.
What is up with GW and just like making their gods explode into pieces?
So here's a fun little note, fun fact. Eldrad went out of his way to save Mephiston of the Blood Angels. Yep. It's during the High Fleet Kraken.
Yep.
Again with Kraken. Eldrad foresaw that the Blood Angels, and Mephiston specifically, would play some kind of pivotal role in the Eldari's future. And so he fought alongside Space Marines, crushed Tyranids between the Imperial Defenders, the Eldari reinforcements, dug out Mephiston from under the rubble, and then left without any explanation. Just bye. Whoosh.
Now, one cool thing from that is we do know that Mephiston, well buried under the destroyed bastion that he was under, he defeated the Black Rage and Red Thirst. He was being taken by it, and he beat it somehow. Now, in a future Blood Angel story, Mephiston got the knowledge on how to beat it from a dead Space Marine that he read. He read the mind of a Marine that beat it, which is completely stupid. I still have the theory that it's actually Eldrad who removed it from his mind. It was just like, oh, that's dangerous. Let's get rid of your trauma. Okay, you're good to go. Okay, bye.
Well, here's the thing. To this day, we don't know why he did it. It's still a mystery. The Blood Angels and Mephiston have yet to intervene on the Eldar's behalf in any major way. So, we don't know. Also, we talked about him being a guitar-playing radical in his youth. Yep, he was just sitting around in his room playing his Moonlyre back in the Heresy. He was only less than 100 years old at the time of the Horus Heresy, essentially an Eldari teenager.
Yep. And keep in mind, he at that point in his life, he was at his most powerful.
Well, I mean, it does explain maybe the situation with Fulgrim, because he was ambitious, he was young, he wanted to make a name for himself, he thought he could outsmart a Primarch, maybe.
It is Fulgrim. It is very easy to outsmart Fulgrim.
I mean, except Eldrad couldn't do it in that particular meeting. I don't know. Like, it's an interesting question.
Go, distraction avatar. Bye.
And then, so the whole thing about Ghazghkull, this also comes from one of the novels, Jane Czar, The Storm of Silence, in which Jane Czar, who was the most senior Farseer on Ulthway at that time, had a wait, no, maybe I'm getting her confused. Anyway, she's the Phoenix Lord. She or becomes the Phoenix Lord. I want to be clear. she and Eldrad had this big conflict over how to handle the orcs, and this is where Ghazghkull becomes the one chosen to be the new leader. Most Farseers would just say, "Okay, Phoenix Lord, you're right."
Yeah, not him. He's just
not
like,
Eldrad. And in Rise of the Ynnari Ghost Warrior, which is another novel, Ivrain visits Eldrad's private quarters, and bro is a hoarder.
Yes, he is.
Serious hoarder. His chambers are overflowing with random crap from countless species, countless cultures, countless time periods. And Ivrain's like, why do you keep all this stuff? And Eldrad's like, well, they're symbols of loyalty. They're support.
Behold my stuff.
They're objects of significance. They're bribes, offerings, gifts from suitors. That's the one I like.
Yep.
Items carelessly left behind by other guests. Loans. I mean, he makes every excuse in the world. This guy is definitely a hoarder because he makes every excuse to keep his stuff. I don't want to lose my stuff. And if
GW loves hoarders,
if Rain senses ancient sorrow coming from all of these items, which suggests that maybe some of them belong to long dead lovers, which we'll get into. There's a lot of speculation over who Eldrad's suitors might have been, because this guy's been alive for 10,000 years and knows everybody. So, yep.
You think any of them were human?
Maybe.
That was always my theory, is Eldrad accidentally created the Perpetuals.
Well, Eldrad's extremely strong. He's been described in the lore as being able to break titans, banish greater demons, slay kings and champions without number.
Also make demons bleed.
He's a very, very, very strong psychic.
But he makes demons do something that they can't actually do. He manifests blood in them to make them bleed.
There are sources that suggest he reaches out to Ferrus Manus as well as Fulgrim to try and head off the heresy, but Ferrus Manus is like, you're a Xenos, you can't be trusted, I'm not listening to you. And it didn't go anywhere, which, classic Eldrad. He talked to the two people that could have stopped everything, and neither one of them wanted to listen.
Could you imagine if he talked to any of the reasonable Primarchs? The only one, Guilliman.
And he had a psychic duel with Kairos Fateweaver, which is kind of fun.
Yep.
This is during the whole thing with the Ynnari. Fateweaver attacked Ulthway, and he had to try and save Ulthway from him. So yeah, he's simultaneously an unkillable immortal who was devoured by a god and returned from death, a guitar-playing teenager who became the galaxy's greatest prophet, a romantic figure who received gifts from suitors across millennia, a hoarder who cannot throw away forgotten loans from 10,000 years ago, a being capable of backflipping titans with just his mind, who can't understand basic human emotion, a manipulator who forms genuine friendships with both humans and Primarchs and keeps tokens of affection for thousands of years.
Has Guilliman on speed dial.
Right. Retcon back to life with no explanation and continues manipulating fate as if none of this matters. He is such a weird dude.
This is a completely random thought. He reminds me of a male Tasha.
Yeah, a little bit.
This isn't even counting in the fact that Eldrad can, if he wanted, create an illusion of himself and watch people. Because he does that. He watches other cultures. And when asked about it, he wants to preserve lesser races.
I think so. It's a lot of Eldrad's weirdness probably comes from the fact that he's been in the lore for so long and has played such a pivotal role in that lore that multiple different authors, multiple different creative teams, multiple different design teams have used him in different ways. They've used him as a lever to help move the narrative forward or to course correct on some lore issues. I think his weirdness is just because he's been around, and like many comic book characters who've gone through the hands of multiple writers and artists, he just seems different from time to time based on who's writing it.
But here's the weird thing, though. Now, normally when that happens, we get characters like Fulgrim, where in some of the books, Fulgrim is written perfectly, and it's an absolute masterpiece of a book. And then in the next book, he's a completely different character that is terrible, and all of his subsequent books after that are just god awful. I am a little miffed about that. But then we have characters that are change authors and stay good. We have characters that stay with one author and are amazing. Caiaphas Cain. But he works with everyone because he's such a more random character that is both super helpful, a complete dick, doesn't understand anything, but pretends to. He is the perfect 40K character to be like, yes, just as planned. I knew this was going to happen. I'm going to leave now. This will help in 10,000 years, I hope.
Got a comment from Ricardo Andre 7049 says, wait, I just joined. We have a date of Eldrad's birth or enough to make educated guesses. We can estimate it to pretty close to a within a few centuries because of his presence during the Horus Heresy and portrayals of him around the birth of the Imperium. So that's. Yep.
We know that he saw the fall of the Eldar, and according to him himself, he has seen the War of Heaven. Now, that could be the council that is with him telling him those memories, or it could be from him. So that's the one thing to take what Eldrad is. Was it Eldrad, or was it another Eldrad? Because Eldar. It's just like the Phoenix Lords. When one of them dies, you just put on their costume, put on their jewel, and just go, well, I guess I'm alive again. But you are a different person that takes on the identity of that person while having your mind taken over by that person.
So yeah, he was around 100 years old at the time of the heresy, which is pretty young for an Eldar. Do you want to look at some super chats?
Yes, I got them up right now, and we got one that's really good.
Ricky Chapman says, yo, Ricky Chapman, we appreciate you. You've been with us from the very start. Big fans.
Yep. Hell yeah.
Ricky Chapman again. Same comment.
I think he's in here 2 more times.
Fun fact, the Hand of Darkness is currently in the hand of Blackheart, who is having a cabal of chaos sorcerers trying to unlock his secrets. I believe you mean Huron Blackheart.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's right. Very cool and timely because Huron Blackheart just got a new model.
I'm still surprised that Huron Blackheart, like GW just kept his name. Like I really thought they were going to slightly change his name.
Why?
Because of the Blackheart comics, where the character is kind of lifted from.
I'm not familiar.
They're really good.
Is that a 2000 AD comic?
It is a old Marvel comic of a not symbiote.
Oh wow!
Called Blackheart.
Oh, it must be from like the late 90s.
It is. It is definitely the 90s flair.
Okay, well, I think Huron was either right before or about contemporary, I think. But all right, Gary Garionson, another one of our favorite supporters. Thank you, sir. There was talk that the Tyranids needed a speaker. That was Alexis came up with this one. A Kerrigan type figure, and I do agree with this. How about Sanguinius, resurrected by the Tyranids, a psyker with bone wings? Okay, I don't agree with Sanguinius. No, thank you.
I mean, we could have had this if the Tyranids won the battle for Baal. They could have done this.
Devastation of Baal, yeah.
So just give them time.
By the way, I'm reading Devastation of Baal, the novel, and it is frickin' rad. Guy Haley is becoming one of my favorite 40K authors. If you guys are anybody out there is a Blood Angels fan, you got to read this book. Just Devastation of Baal is frickin' rad.
Yeah.
Okay, Ricky Chapman again. We met Eldrad in a tabletop role-playing game campaign. I swear, Ricky Chapman, you meet everybody in your campaigns. I kind of want to be on a fly on the wall for your game. We were all playing Eldar. He assisted us in fighting off a Psychonoid infestation in the webway. Well, yeah, that would be bad. Psychonoid, for people who don't know, are wasps that live in the warp. They're kind of demon wasps in a way, and they plant their eggs in your brain because they exist in both the materium and the immaterium, and you don't even know you've been infected until their eggs burst out of your head. It's very Cthulhu in a really nasty way.
Yeah, it is.
Friender Trader, thank you, Friender Trader. What does Eldrad think of Prince Iriel? Well, I'm glad you asked. I am so glad you asked. So Prince Iriel, of course, is a Corsair captain. He usually fights with the Iyanden Craft World, which we talked about earlier is one of the ones that Eldrad warned. There's no major source that gives like a direct in-character quote of Eldrad, like praising or condemning Iriel, but Eldrad basically looks at Iriel like a dangerously arrogant but very crucial part of Eldari's fate. Like, he's a necessary but volatile instrument rather than a trusted ally. And the reason where this comes from is that the Farseers on Iyanden, they judge Iriel's pride and recklessness as a major threat, and Eldrad's actions with Iyanden shows that he shares long-term views about where the craft world needs to go, like what needs to happen with it. So I believe I'm drawing some connections here, but I feel like that's where he's coming from. And Eldrad, of course, is a pragmatist, right? Like he's fine using flawed but pivotal figures to steer fate. And so I imagine he wouldn't have any real issue with using Iriel, but Iriel is censured by not unlike Eldrad himself, is censured and exiled from Iyanden. So there's a connection there. I feel like they could probably have a hell of a conversation. Like if they sat down at a bar, drank beers together, we're just like, so hey, tell me about your exile. What was it like? Well, hey, tell me about your exile. They could be great friends. Like I can imagine them being at some point like great friends. I believe so. The visions and prophecies around Iriel, Prince Iriel, are usually about him being important to the survival of the end. And so, yeah, I think ultimately Eldrad's going to be like, well, you're a problem, but you're a problem we need to keep close.
I think they look at each other as like two people who don't want to admit they're friends. Look at each other.
Oh, is this a just kiss? You know, kind of thing.
I wouldn't say that, but almost.
There's some tension there that might be, you know, romantic.
But I could see them as like not like enemies, but they're just like, you're cool too. Okay, fuck off. And then they just leave.
Yeah, it might be a Deadpool and Wolverine kind of relationship.
Yeah, I could see that.
There might be that. All right. So, but good question. So that takes us to, I believe, why don't you, I was going to say, Alexis, take us into the next topic.
So I did want to talk to people about how his rules compare to his lore on the tabletop. And this is where Eldrad kind of sucks, which is like one of the biggest shames is that Eldar on the tabletop are a very hard army to balance for 40k because they're super fast, hit super hard, and they're glass cannons. That's their whole strategy, is to be a glass cannon. They're going to hit you as quick and as fast as they can, take every objective, and do what they need to do. Eldrad is unfortunately very slow, and for what he doesn't really benefit the army all too well. So you won't see him in meta lists, but you'll see him in more narrative-focused lists. I think he's actually like fairly weak too, at only like strength 6. He doesn't have a psychic storm that's too relevant. And overall, he's kind of like a 5 out of 10. He's okay, but there's better things to take over him. Like Ynnari or Jane Zar. Well, is just way better than him on the tabletop.
I can say with some authority, as a guy who started playing second edition, Eldrad's value has oscillated over the years. There's been times when having Eldrad was an auto include, and there's times when having Eldrad was like never take this guy. So the fact that he's like in the middle now is probably good. I don't know.
I remember fighting Eldrad back in 5th edition and into 7th edition, and he was a god tier character. He was just killing everything. Like but that was the edition where if you brought Mephiston or you brought Eldrad, you won the game. And if those two crashed against each other, the two people just flipped a coin to decide who won.
So, fun fact,
that was back when the game was really poorly designed.
Fun fact: 5th edition, I played a Blood Angels army, and I did field Mephiston, and I got a lot of dirty looks.
Yeah,
because 5th edition Mephiston was a goddamn beast.
Yeah. I remember we balanced him out by giving the opponent 500 extra points.
He was like a little dreadnought. He was a tough son of a bitch to kill. All right. Yep. Would you like to hear some of the most popular fan theories in headcanon?
Oh my god, yes. So let's get into
it. So one of those is that he's a Phoenix Lord, which we did already talk about. And that's one of my I honestly, this is the one I kind of think is maybe right, that he could be a Phoenix Lord. Another one, which I definitely think is wrong, is that he's secretly immortal because, and this is based on the idea that Slaanesh ate him, but he still survived somehow in the Spirit Stones. And I'm like, no, I don't think so, bro. Like,
so okay, hang on. Let me add to that one really quickly. There is a Rogue Trader book where a Rogue Trader puts on a Soul Stone that they don't know where they got it from, and they do get possessed by the Eldar. It does stand to reason that Eldar in the human body could then put on the guise of an Eldar, not show their flesh in any way, shape, or form. But Eldar are often described as moving unhumanly gracefully, where they're lengthy boys. Like, that's the one thing about the 40k elves, is that they are longer limbed than humans. They're also taller than them. So yes, I could see it happening, but also no, the Eldar would immediately call him out. They could also just read that he's human. So I give this one a solid 3 out of 10. Good for an RPG, bad for the like overall lore.
Well, one thing that I'm trying to do more is just kind of riff on it, have an open mind, say, I'll give my opinion, which I did. I didn't think it's true, but let's brainstorm a little bit here, because there are. So Eldrad's a pretty pragmatic guy. We talked about this. He's willing to do things that Eldrad's willing to do things that most Eldar are not, or certainly do things that most Asuryani are not willing to do.
Yeah.
So maybe it's possible that he's prepared contingencies similar to the Drukhari resurrection techniques.
Okay, I like that.
Maybe he's got some clone bodies somewhere.
Hear me out on this. Let's continue that human train of thought. What if that human was a perpetual?
That would be a way to cheat death.
That is an almost infinite way to cheat death.
It depends, obviously, on how Spirit Stones interact with human souls, if at all, which I'm not convinced that that's a real thing, but who knows?
It's in a book. That's all I'm going to say.
You know what? Fair enough. Maybe he's got multiple Spirit Stones containing backup copies of his psyche.
It would also make sense that he would make deals with homunculuses to make him extra bodies.
Yeah, clones.
Yeah, because they have a way of pulling the souls from that into like the clone bodies. I don't know how, and neither does GW, because they don't explain it, and I hope they keep it that way. Because I like the Drukhari just having like this unknown mutilation technology. I think that's really cool.
So typically Asuryani consider soul manipulation abhorrent. They're like, oh god, don't do that.
But this is Eldrad.
But Eldrad is different. He's built different than Craftworld's Eldar. So yeah, I'm willing to entertain the option. Let's put it that way. That he might have some.
I'm giving the human one a 3 out of 10. I'm giving this one a 7 out of 10. I think he would do it.
Okay.
I'm going to rank them.
A fun little one is that Eldrad may have encountered one of the last surviving Old Ones, or possibly possesses Old One stuff himself. In the Old Earth book, which is one of the Horus Heresy books.
Yep.
Eldrad kills this guy called Ghazghkull, who is described as one of the old kind, strongly implying that Ghazghkull was either an old one or a degenerated descendant of that ancient race. So this is talking about the war in heaven, which is one of your favorite things, Alexis. It's
good.
If you accept, so there's a lot of ifs here, but if you accept that Ghazghkull is an old one or a descendant of the old ones, if you accept that Old Earth as a Black Library novel is canonical, if you accept the perspective in that book, that it was written, this is Eldrad's own perspective.
Yeah.
Then he must have some extraordinary power, even as a young Eldar at this time, to destroy a being connected to, if not one of, the old ones.
Mm-hmm.
The Slani, yes. Gonsalvo Vicente says maybe a Slani, possibly. Old kind does not necessarily mean old one, though, so I don't know.
Was this written before or after the whole Emperor is shaman magicked into existence?
Well, this is part of the Horus Heresy book, so this is from the 2000s or 2010s.
Okay, so it's an older heresy book, right?
Well, yes, but yeah, I guess that's one way to put it. I don't know,
because we both know that the Horus Heresy at the beginning and the Horus Heresy at the end are almost completely different stories.
That's true. There's a couple of great theories that Eldrad is connected to Segurok, the Laughing God, and one of them is that Eldrad is actually a pawn of the Laughing God. That all of Eldrad's hilarious missteps are actually engineered by the Laughing God. That the Laughing God is pulling the strings behind the scenes to make Eldrad screw up in the funniest way possible. And you got to admit, most of his screw ups are pretty epic or pretty funny and epic.
And he is often working with the Harlequins.
He works with the Harlequins a lot.
I give this one a 9 out of 10. This one sounds the most accurate so far.
I mean, Eldrad as a cosmic punchline is
hilarious.
It is funny. It's a little reductive, I would argue, but it is funny.
Yeah.
And it would explain a hell of a lot about the weird things that happen around Eldrad, like him being exiled from Ulthway and then almost immediately returning to Ulthway, and they're like, yeah, we're fine with it.
Doesn't Eldrad know, isn't he one of the members of the Black Library?
Well, no, he's a member of the Black Council who advises they advise the protectors of the Black Library. So if anybody, again, there's a lot of evidence that connects the Laughing God, Segurok, to,
because we only know of very few things about the Black Library, that there's white seers inside it that protect Kigoroth, and that your brain knows where it is and knows that there's an infinite staircase that leads to it. Yeah.
So
that book was weird.
I mean, this might be true. It's worth pointing out, though, that his exile from Ulthway at least was portrayed sincerely.
Yes.
And the official lore for Segurok is that he works almost exclusively with Harlequins. So I mean, there's kind of for and against, but it's interesting. That's what I liked about it.
I like it because it's a way of writing him extremely seriously with an undertone of satire, because it's a joke. You can have super serious stories told as satire, and I think that works like that. Well,
it does. It goes into one of the stranger headcanons, which is actually based off of memes, which I love 40K memes.
A big chunk of them are good, but a lot of them are bad.
There's memes about Eldrad as the oldest troll in the galaxy. And the memes that portray him this way portray him as a manipulative genius who is deliberately messing with people in the galaxy for his own amusement. That all of these, I foresaw X and instead Y, is literally him just like mugging for the camera, like Johnny Knoxville and the set of Jackass going, look at this thing that I did. I gotta admit, I can kind of see it. And
a little bit, yeah.
I mean, it's more funny than serious. It certainly doesn't have any like narrative value to really call him the oldest troll in the galaxy. But it's amusing. Funny. It's a little wild. The fan nickname for Eldrad Ulthran is That Dick, or the oldest troll in the galaxy. This is where it comes from. TV Tropes actually mentions this one specifically. So it has become a popular theory to imagine Eldrad as a comedically exasperated rather than nobly tragic.
Yeah. All right, I like it. I give that like a 3 out of 10. I like it, but meh.
Another interpretation is that Eldrad just sucks. He's incompetent. This
10
theory,
out of 10.
This theory goes through all of his failed efforts and says it's a sincere attempt by a man who's sincerely trying to do good and just constantly failing. He's a seer failure, I guess is the way you'd put it, if you want to make it the one word. Because he failed to awaken Iyad and ended up exiled. He failed to convince Ferrus Manus or Fulgrim about the Horus Heresy. Engineered the rise of Ghazghkull Thraka. Damn near got killed by Artemis. And he constantly is repeatedly interrupted or foiled, despite being supposedly the greatest prophet in all of 40K.
Yeah. Weirdly enough, do you know who's actually like a solid prophet at this point?
Conrad Kurz.
Makari.
Oh, yeah.
Makari is fluent in 4 languages, and he understands prophecy more than almost anybody else, including how to break out of prophecy by dying and then resurrecting Ghazghkull. Like, he lets Urark the Destined. No, not Urark the Destined. I forget the Space Wolf's name. Ragnar Blackmane. He allows Ragnar Blackmane to kill Ghazghkull, only to run away with his head and then come back and put it back on and explain the prophecy that they had. And then Ghazghkull comes back and beats his ass.
Yeah, orcs break a lot of those kinds of situations. I don't know. But I can tell you that it's difficult. I think it's difficult to see Eldrad as a purely incompetent figure because he has achieved saving numerous craft worlds. We talked about that. He has, I mean, even chat was like, Ghazghkull was an L, but it wasn't necessarily an L for the Eldari. It may have been an L for the Imperium, not a. Anyway,
so, the whole thing that I could think about with that is, while Ghazghkull poses a threat greater to the Imperium, he poses less of a threat to the Eldari, where the other one might have posed more of a threat to the Eldari, but less to the Imperium. So Ghazghkull was the better of 2 evils there to the Eldar.
Some people say that Eldrad had a secret alliance with the Emperor.
This one I actually like. I think, okay, so there is a fan theory that Yvraine wants to resurrect the Emperor. And I am fully on board with this. And I think Eldrad is part of this. But I think Yvraine needs to kill the Emperor for a moment and resurrect him in the same way that she did with Guilliman. Because she has that ability to just break curses and bring people fully back to life. She did it to 2,000 Suns in front of Ahriman. And Ahriman is just like, oh, come on, that's just rude.
It was.
It was so rude.
That was possibly the most insulting thing you could have done. Which I thought it was hilarious.
And then she insulted him to his face and left.
Yeah.
Like, didn't even bother fighting him. He was just like, you know what? Screw, I'm going home.
So the evidence of the secret alliance with the Emperor is that guiding Vulcan, we talked about this, guiding Vulcan back through the webway, the Emperor had to hold the webway open long enough for Vulcan to return, which suggests that Eldrad and the Emperor were somehow coordinating their efforts on some level. And Eldrad, when Guilliman rewoke, Eldrad implied that he knows the Emperor understands the entwined fates of humanity in the Eldari. Which, how would he know that if he hadn't communed or spoken to or had some kind of connection to the Emperor? But the speculation is, and this is, I think, the most interesting part, is that the Emperor and Eldrad met at some point either during the Great Crusade or prior to the Great Crusade and established some sort of covert alliance, which would be interesting because it would explain a lot about the Webway project that the Emperor was working on Terra.
Yes.
And also how Eldrad constantly seems to try and support humanity, which he does. He has helped humanity on numerous occasions. I mean, despite Armageddon, let's be clear.
Oopsie daisy, my bad.
So, I don't know. I mean, could the Emperor have foreseen the resurrection of Guilliman? Could Eldrad have been old enough to have spoken to the Emperor before the Crusade started? These are all, I mean, there's a lot of things that are possible.
Here's a question for you.
That's the question. Yeah.
Do you think that Eldrad can enter the forest?
I don't know. Like, that is such a specific thing that I really don't know.
Because that's a sub-dimension.
I know.
That Lion, Cypher, and the, as far as we know, the Emperor and the Watchers in the Dark know how to use.
Let's put it this way. If there was any Eldari out there who could, it would be Eldrad.
Yeah.
But does that mean he knows about it and can? I can't answer that. I will only say that I strongly believe that he has the potential to do so.
Yeah. That's where I'm at as well. Because that would be the best place for those two to talk. Because if those two met each other, everyone would want to listen.
So, do we have some super chats to read? This would be a good time.
Yes, we do. We have 4.
Friender Trader says, "Oh, we already read that one."
Oh, sorry, we have 3. I lied.
Ricardo Andre says, "I thought he, meaning Eldrad, was born in like M20 or 30 because of him having friends with the Emperor, presumably. That's what we were just talking about, but had become a Farseer for a short time by Horus Heresy." I will say this: there is no birth certificate that I have seen for Ulthran. I can't tell you the year he was born. I can only tell you that he seemed to be a young Eldar and had spoken about being on his path for less than 100 years at the time of the Horus Heresy. So you might be right. I don't know for sure.
Keep in mind, he might have also been doing other paths prior to that.
Almost certainly was. Certainly. So
yeah, it depends. It's complicated.
It's complicated. Necro Player 97, congratulations to the 40K and technically 30K community for the awesome new releases yesterday. Oh, I can't wait. We're getting there.
We're going to talk about it.
Especially the Chaos Space Marines and the official Femstad models. I think he means the female Custodes.
Yep.
Which do have new models and they do look freaking rad.
They look amazing. Oh my God, they look so cool.
Some of the best
kits.
Yeah.
I hate it because I sold my Custodian army. I do not want a Custodian army. That box set is so good for both editions of 40K, Warhammer 40K and Horus Heresy. And it is usable now for 40K, but we don't know if it's going to be usable later in 11th edition. The tanks and the Dreadnought might get moved to Legends. GW didn't state that it was going to be usable in next edition. They did state that it is usable now, so 40K players are going to buy that, but please note that that set might not be usable for 11th edition. I just want to make sure people know about this because I don't want to see people buy it, go, yay, I have a Horus Heresy army for 10th edition, and then they're like, oh, I can't use this in 10th edition. Yeah. I don't want people to get, I don't want people getting mad.
I think what you're really saying is Games Workshop, please don't get rid of this. I secretly want to make a Custodes army, and these models.
I have self-control, and yes, I may have bought another box of sanctifiers that I'm currently working on, but I have self-control. I only spent about 40K on 40K Icelandic this month.
All right, I see you. I hear you. I see.
I'm also waiting for Titus and his crew to come out so I could buy them as well.
Thank you, Necroplayer. We will be talking about those new models in this show. Grim Isaac says, just beat Rogue Trader. Woo! Good on you.
Great game.
Last third has bugs. I think he means Tyranids. The end slide cards contradict each other. Oh, I didn't know that. Pascal, screw Pascal for killing my Urieliot, though. Grimdark ending. Thumbs up to the Grimdark ending.
You got the dark ending. Nice.
Yeah, that sounds like a dark one. Urieliot, I think, is the Eldari romance option in that game.
She's a partner, but not a romanceable partner.
Too bad.
Which is lame. I wanted to sleep with the Eldar.
You know what? One of my favorite things to do as a game designer for video games, I loved romances. I wanted to make so many romances. Anyway, so very cool.
I got the ending where you fight 2 void dragons. And then a third one spawned, and I was like, uh-oh.
Jesus.
We got 2 more.
Ricky Chapman, thank you, sir. Fan theory is that Eldrad is working for Ladriel, the elven goddess from Warhammer Fantasy, who doesn't appear in 40K, but she's the Lady of the Mist. None, not even Tzeentch, can see her plots, so she could be in 40K. You know what? This checks out. I have no notes. It's certainly possible.
So hear me out. Here's how I would word this for 40K, right? I would change the elf goddess to Isha. And if it was Isha whispering to Eldrad, it would make total sense. And I really like that because we do know that Isha is the one that every time Nurgle unleashes a devastating plague, Isha is the one that releases the cure to it or the way to fight against it. Though that is older lore and Isha is barely mentioned anymore, which is a shame, to be honest, because I really like the idea that Nurgle keeps Isha in a cage and constantly feeds her like horrific things and is just like, yes, I love you. And he's basically just a Reddit mod.
Wow. I think so. The idea of there being another surviving Eldar god that is in hiding is a little. That's definitely a fringe theory. That's definitely a little bit out there because the death of the Eldar gods is such a big deal. I mean, we talked about this when I talked about bringing back Sanguinius. Like, just because you could, maybe you should think about whether you should. Yeah. And so like I question should we have another surviving Eldar god, because that might diminish the impact of the death of the Eldar gods in the setting. But Ladriel as your source for that goddess is a really interesting choice. And
I like it.
It would be a very cool twist in the story. I would enjoy finding out more about that. So cool idea for, if nothing else, definitely a cool idea. Thank you, Ricky Chapman.
I really like that one.
And we got another one from Ricardo Andre. I'm going to roll my R's a little bit on that one. In fantasy, Hercardi is using the warp for war. Kane, while using it with his rings, is not the OG user, nor the most knowledgeable. Him secretly being tied to a forgotten remnant of Hercardi equals cool. Ooh, okay.
I will admit I don't know enough about fantasy to comment on this.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to do a quick lookup on Hercardi.
All I know is that I thought you were talking about the what are they called? My brain just went blank. But the girls, the bat girls, the blood elves, that have the bat wings and everything, and they look sick.
The witch elves?
Yeah, the witch elves. Well,
Yeah,
they're blood-ish elves now.
Yeah, that's Age of Sigmar, yeah.
Yeah.
So in Warhammer Fantasy, Hecate is the elven goddess of conjurations and dark magic. She sees all the winds of magic and has 6 arms to carry her sacred accoutrement. And she pays close attention to the desires of the elves. Wow. Okay. I am not familiar with this goddess, but if Eldrad was secretly tied to a forgotten remnant of Hecate because conjurations, dark magic, that does seem to fit with Eldrad's source. Well, his sorcery, for lack of a better word, his like the ritual to resummon Ynnari and things like that, or Ennead. I keep getting those two mixed up. I apologize. It's an interesting connection to make. I see in my head the murder board with the red string connecting these two things. It's a cool idea. It's outside of my wheelhouse to the point where I'm not sure I can say more about it, is the problem.
Yeah, I'm right there with you. I don't know enough about fantasy, but I do know that Kane and Kane, Kane from fantasy and Kane from 40K are just so wildly different. That's about it, though.
All right, Necro Player says, and since I may not be here when y'all talk about it due to work, I super dig the clean Chaos Marine. Looks more than the normal spiky mutant look. Yeah, I get it.
Just wait. You haven't seen them fully yet.
Agreed. All right, is that the last one?
That is the last one.
All right, I'm going to speed run through the remaining fan theories so we can get to these cool minis. Secret Alliance with the Emperor. Tzeentch's unwitting puppet is a fun theory.
I like this one.
However, I'm going to say unlikely for a lot of reasons. But we know that Tzeentch likes to manipulate events, especially fate, which is how the Farseers see the future. It's not out of the realm of possibility to say that Tzeentch has been maybe manipulating things to steer Eldrad into manipulating things to make things worse. that is just so convoluted is the perfect Tzeentch plot. But Eldrad has resisted chaos corruption for like 10,000 years, so I don't see it as a thing. The runes that they use, Farseers use runes specifically because they prevent chaos from seeing what their visions are.
Yeah. Warding runes.
Yeah. So and Eldrad's actions are almost constantly to try and confront or
he's very anti-chaos.
Yeah.
Like his whole thing is that he's been anti-chaos forever. Like he doesn't care who he's manipulating to fight chaos. He just knows he needs things to fight chaos.
And by the way, the Imperium makes a great what do you call them? Buffer zone.
Sledgehammer.
Yeah, or puppet, if you will. There's another one that says Eldrad's hubris is his downfall, which I mean
that's a 10 out of 10.
Right. Eldar in general are very arrogant. Eldrad is sure of himself to a dangerous degree.
Yes.
And it's possible that the arrogant assumption that he can do things that other people can't is what leads him into trouble. Maybe he's representing kind of that Greek demigod aspect of my flaw is my pride, and that would be an interesting way to look at him.
I agree with that.
This it's logical. This makes a lot of sense. I'm down with this. And then there's these two more that I think are great. One is that Eldrad's actually an absolute Chad. Rather than being incompetent or villainous or manipulated or a puppet, he's actually a supremely capable badass whose achievements are constantly downplayed or misunderstood. He's just operating at a level beyond our comprehension. And that things that look like mistakes or missteps are actually part of some great grand design that only Eldrad truly knows.
Okay, so this is the Emperor argument, where the Emperor is thinking 10,000 steps ahead of everybody, and so he has to sacrifice the Thunder Warriors, the Space Marines, and all of these planets in order to protect humanity. It's like, I get it, and it does work. It does fit the setting. It does fit that grim darkness of 40K, but also it kind of downplays him a little bit. I like that he's flawed. I think that's what makes him cool.
So
I'm giving that one a 4 out of 10.
Yeah. I also like the Secret Emperor Alliance theory. That's actually a lot of fun.
Yeah, that's a really good one.
Here's one that I also think is great. Secretly, Eldrad is the only good guy in 40K. Now, let me be really clear. We say this a lot on the show. There are no good guys in 40K, just protagonists and antagonists. But this fan theory posits that Eldrad is the only true heroic good character.
Completely disagree. Caiaphas Cain is sitting right over there.
So basically anybody who this theory says that anybody who says Eldrad is incompetent is missing the point. That the actual point is that he is doing his level best to make life better for everyone in the galaxy, and that every decision he makes is always like the lesser of two evils, the best path forward, and it's never out of malice, and it's never out of necessarily arrogance. It's only out of altruism. And I gotta admit,
I hate that this is making sense.
Right?
I hate it. I hate it. So much do I hate it. Because it completely works in the setting as him trying his best.
So this theory frames Eldrad as like a tragic hero. He is operating under impossible constraints. He's
oh my god,
every path, yeah, he's Odysseus. Every path leads to disaster that he foresees. So he chooses the least terrible option each time. From an outside perspective, we see this as, oh my God, what are you doing? Oh, look at all this. Oh, what have you done? But what we don't see is all, this is the Doctor Strange. There's only one way to beat Thanos, right? I've saw 400 million and this is the only way. So is Eldrad Doctor Strange in Endgame? Is he actually a really good guy, a very moral being attempting to do his level best for the galaxy? It's an interesting idea.
I hate it. I hate that it works. I hate that I can see his actions because he always tries to talk first.
So this is another really weird fan theory is that he's actually a Time Lord, like the Doctor, because he and the Doctor have a lot in common, including wanting to talk to people first.
Yep.
And including being exasperated at everybody who doesn't listen or doesn't understand time from their perspective.
So this one I actually do like, and because I'm one of the random lunatics that actually likes the 40K timeline being the fourth dimensional like time sphere thing that it is. Because there is a moment in I can't remember what book, but one of the characters is time traveling, right? And the Emperor looks back at them, and he's not supposed to be able to do that, and he just does in like a different time. And it's such a crazy moment because it shows that the Emperor is also doing what they're doing. And I love the idea that Eldrad is trying to travel throughout time, and what he's doing is getting messed with by the Emperor and by the Necrons.
Well, the part I find fascinating about this fan theory is that it frames Eldrad as what the Doctor would look like if the Doctor failed constantly despite his best efforts.
Yeah, I could see that.
And I was like, oh, you know what? I mean, if you're trapped in a universe where heroism doesn't work and everything's grimdark and you're doing your goddamn best, yeah, maybe this is what the Doctor might look like.
Yeah.
I don't know. It's interesting. It's very interesting. And there's another one I think is great, which is about romance. We know that Eldrad has had numerous romantic and sexual relationships because of his hoarding and all of those things. He says a lot of those are gifts from former suitors. So who was he in relationships with? Well, one of the biggest, most obvious answers that him and John Grammaticus were a couple.
Yes. This one I really like because he got something from John Grammaticus.
Well, he convinced John to do something very, very dangerous and very against what John had up to that point been doing. So it was a major shift for John to make the decision that he made based on Eldrad. It's the kind of thing that you would do for someone that you cared greatly for.
Yeah.
Let's put it that way. The Yvrain sensed ancient sorrow from his belongings, and that is what you would get from people that you loved. So, you know, what if his friendship with the Emperor was more than friendship?
So there is a slight mention that the Emperor might have been in a polycule, and I am so okay with this.
Well, the Emperor being as old as he was, because he's old as hell too.
Yeah.
It would shock me if he hadn't tried it at least once.
Because Erda mentions him being her partner. Like, just saying. And I could see Malkador and him bumping uglies. Like, the only person who's religious that matches me on logic. You know, I gotta, yeah. I could see it. I could see it.
There's a lot of questions about the Emperor's buddies too, but specifically for Eldrad, it might be the Emperor, it might be John Grammaticus. One person suggested that he and Yvrain might have a slightly more intimate relationship than we expect.
Yvrain? Okay, so one of the okay, Eldrad was very close to Yvrain, but when I read that, I didn't read them as intimate.
But mentor student. It's implied as mentor student, you know.
Yeah. But when Yvrain talked to Guilliman, that was some sexual tension.
Well, my favorite meme is Yvrain and Guilliman. So yeah.
Like, even outside of the whole joke that I want them to be in a relationship because it makes sense, Yvrain says something to Guilliman that stuck with Guilliman, and it's that we are both demigods. We see the world differently. And Guilliman's like, you are the only person who could understand my plight. And it's like, just kiss. Like, Yvrain and Call made you armor that if you take off, you potentially die. Yvrain is partial Dark Eldar. She is all over that. Like, that was probably intentional. Also, there's that scene where he's talking to Yvrain while wearing only a robe. Just saying.
Well, this is not a show about Guilliman and Yvrain, although I am here for it. I want to be clear. Those are the most interesting fan theories and headcanon I could find about Eldrad. Like you said, he's been around a long, long time. He's been involved in so many big events. And he's probably likely going to stay involved. Like, he seems like the kind of character Games Workshop's going to keep around for a long time. But I could be wrong. I mean,
we all thought about that with Yarick.
We did.
And now Yarick is gone currently.
So he might get Yaricked, but I have a feeling that he's going to be around. And even if he does get Yaricked, it wouldn't shock me if he was revealed as another Phoenix Lord, because that would be pretty rad, honestly speaking. What else would you like to say about Eldrad Ulthran, if anything? He's got a cool helmet.
He does. He is one of the best designed miniatures. He was actually one of the first Eldar miniatures to get a new run, which is pretty cool. Like, he has currently 2 models that ever existed. He never featured too much in other games, but he is hinted at in other games. But yeah, he's just kind of a badass. Like, I really like Eldrad. I like his story. I like that he's a manipulator. I like that he's not inherently evil. Let's put it that way.
He seems to come across as a legitimately empathetic or at least moral to an extent character. Like, he's on the axis of evil. He's on the least evil side of that axis.
Yeah, like, he still, led to the genocide of hundreds of worlds to Ghazghkull. But, in terms of 40K, that makes you pretty good.
I mean, lesser of two evils, maybe.
Yeah.
It's possible that he's a very good man. Let's put it that way. Where this is the kind of thing I would never say about Conrad Curse, for example.
Yeah.
I'm sorry.
I wonder who has a higher body count. It has to be Eldrad.
I think that guy that is the Conrad stan. I think his name is Vespa 06. I'm sorry, Vespa.
These are fighting words. He wishes to fight you.
We need to continue our discussion if you want to bring me around on Conrad, but
he wants to bring you outside.
It's fine. We can still be friends. We can have different opinions and still be friends.
Yeah, just come outside.
I'm joking. Well, the whole retcon of his death is still, that's to me that's a super crazy thing. The idea of him as this emo kid playing the guitar in his room is pretty crazy. The idea that he's a hoarder is pretty crazy. There's just so many little aspects, little pieces of his lore that I'm just like, oh my god, I want to know more. Tell me more, please.
Yes. All right.
Wait. Ricardo Andre. It's Ricardo Andre is the one. I guess this is the guy that we have the issue.
Yeah, now it's an issue.
Well, I mean, I'm trying to think of a way to say it, or because it's I'm not taking it personally. We'll be really clear about that.
He's taking it as personal as Seto Kaiba took a loss from Yugi.
Yeah. It's time to duel. Oh god. All right, do we want to look at those miniatures now?
Yes, we do, because there is so many cool things. And oh my god, the new custodies look absolutely incredible. I have them popped up already. We're just going to go through. Wait, you can't see that yet. That's the cool thing at the end. I'm not going to play the videos because I don't know how loud they are, and a lot of them contain copyrighted music. But we're going to take a look at Huron Blackheart and his retinue.
Yeah, these guys are rad as hell. I love the fact we've got a Tyrellian and a Barghese as actual models. That is huge. And as we know, chat loves new Minor Xenos factions, so we're going to have to talk about the Tyrellians and the Barghese at some point. That's going to be super cool.
I also want to point this out, and you're going to see this a lot in this reveal. And I think that we have an audience that is mature enough that I can say this without them losing their goddamn minds. Because I view our audience as actually like competent individuals and not crying piss babies. They are doing a really good job with female representation in this hobby at this point. And I absolutely love it. The command squad for Captain Titus includes 2 women. This command squad includes 2 women. The Tyrellian is a woman. That is so cool. And I think that this is a way of including women into Space Marines without doing the whole female Space Marines. GW took a hard stance, well, in a community thingy, like one of these, where they said there will be no female Marines. But this is a good workaround. I really like this. I like seeing more mixed armies, and because this is the way Space Marines operate. And Chaos Space Marines.
Well, it's really fun to see a renegade captain over there. It might even be a renegade rogue trader. I'm not sure. I don't know that character, but she looks cool. Mm-hmm. And I love the idea of showing more, ship captains or rogue traders. Also, I want to point out it's rare to see a chaos sorcerer with a psychic hood, but there is one right there on that guy.
You know what else is rare?
What's that?
The apothecary. We only have one other Chaos Apothecary for 40k. And that's Fabius Vile.
Yeah. That is a very interesting point. Well, Red Corsairs, obviously, they take in, if anybody was going to have one, it would be the Red Corsairs, because they take in Space Marines from every chapter, every era. And maybe that would explain the guy with the psychic hood too, is that maybe these are originally loyalists who have changed their allegiance to the Red Corsairs, which would be really, really cool. Yeah, I dig it. Those guys look great. There's Blackheart up at close. Look at that.
I like that he's got his canisters on his back for the flamer in his hand. Mm-hmm. Super cool.
And the familiar changes every time they do a model for him.
Yep.
Which is rad.
They've done what, 3 models for him now?
I want to say that's true.
I want to say it's 2 or 3.
There's your apothecary. Oh, he's looking cool. Look, he's holding down a blood angel with his foot.
Actually, that's a red Corsair. No, wait, what? Is that a red Corsair? He's got the red Corsair shoulder pad.
Maybe. It looks like a Blood Angel to me. I guess I could be wrong.
But anyway, here's the Executioner. I think this one is the lamest out of all of them.
Okay.
Like, sadly, he's
All
still badass.
If I may, I have been playing this. I've been in this hobby for a long time. I have seen models with. I saw the Dark Eldar with the space hair,
Yep.
third edition. I've seen Doom Rider. I have seen the kidney bean dreadnoughts.
I love those.
This guy is fine. He is
Yes.
absolutely fine. He looks good. I will hear no. Do not tell me that this guy looks bad, because he does not look bad compared to the models that actually look bad. He looks fine. That guy looks rad. I really like. I extremely dig this dude. He looks cool as hell. See, he's got the horn skull is a very strong symbol for librarians.
Yep.
So he's got it on his backpack and he's got it on his shoulder pad, which is really cool.
The captain looks so cool.
Do we have a name? Do we know who this is?
She does have a name. Here it is.
Captain Sargata, the finest shipmaster and chief architect of their naval victories. Okay, cool. She looks like a naval officer. She looks like a rogue trader gone bad, and I love it.
Yep.
Love it.
I love that she's on the hovering plateau. I forget what they're called. Abeyance. She's on an abeyant.
Yeah, and she's got rogue hair. She's got the streak of white in her hair, which is really cool. Dig that quite a bit. There's the Tyrellian and the Barghese. Oh my God. I can't tell you how my face had a giant smile as soon as I first saw these two. I was like, oh my God, we get a cool actual model for Tyrellians. Holy moly.
When I saw this, I was like, I have to show Ross.
That is a sweet looking alien model.
I cannot get over it. Also, we got Lizardmen in 40K before Lizardmen were added to Old World. And then we got the Red Corsair battle box, which includes an upgrade sprue for certain characters. But it's the normal Terminators, the normal Renegade Guardsmen. But it's cool that it's included in this box to show you how the Red Corsairs fight, because they do use Renegade Guardsmen quite a bit. And then we got upgrade sprues, as well as this unit, which is the Red Corsair Raiders, which, like chat said, have very clean armor because they're renegades and not Chaos Space Marines.
Yeah, but they have a very strong pirate vibe to them, which I also really like. You can tell these guys look like they're going to jump off a pirate ship and attack you.
Also, do you notice all the different armors?
Yeah, I see that. I see what can go back for just a second there. There's a knife on this guy's belt that's like a flaying knife or something like that. It seems like something you'd take from a Dark Eldar.
Yeah.
Which is
it's
really
even got the gem on it.
And he's got a cutlass, like a power cutlass. Yeah, that is really sweet. The armor design is, it's interesting because it is combining different marks together. You can see the backpack on the guy on the right there. That's an old Mark II backpack. That's neat.
And then we move on. We got just look at them. Look at the new helmet for the Mark VII.
Yeah. Yeah, that looks sweet as hell.
Also, the digilaser on his glove. I love it.
Well, it might just be a ring.
It might just be a ring, but
sometimes a ring is just a ring.
Look, I'll go with digilaser. Also, do you notice the other Eldar symbols on them?
Yeah, I do. I see that.
Lots of stolen tech. I love it.
That's super cool.
Just look at the Mark II. Yes.
That's almost a full set of Mark II there. Or that's Mark III.
Mark III, sorry, my bad.
Yeah, because he's got the cables aren't exposed on the chest.
Yeah.
But that's really good looking.
Just look at the furs and everything. This looks incredible. I was so pumped seeing these. Like, I'm not going to buy them. This is not an army for me. I tried playing Chaos Space Marines, not my jam. But I can't wait to fight these.
Oh, these look fantastic. Having seen a lot of Chaos Space Marines over the years, this is the first set of Chaos Space Marines where I'm like, I want these guys. I want to play these guys.
A lot of Eldari and Dark Eldar tech is on them too. And I think that's really cool. Also, do you notice the upside down Crux Terminatus on him?
Oh shit, yeah. I'll be damned.
Yeah, isn't that cool?
Beaky helmet.
Yep, Beaky Marine.
Got a Mark VI helmet there. And this guy's throwing a smoke grenade.
Yep.
I guess.
Also, do you notice it's the old bolt gun, but resized to make it look more like an actual gun instead of a Tech 9 or an SMG.
Yeah, those bolters look a lot more in what's the proportion to the model.
And then we got the Rave Captain. He's the captain at the rave.
He
hands out the glow Nope, it's the Rave Captain. Nope,
Captain.
He's handing out glow sticks and just partying.
and pacifiers. He looks good. Honestly, Chaos Lords and Commanders have always been like the best models of the range.
Oh my god, yes.
So this is no exception. I hate to say that this is not as interesting to me because we've seen a lot of really good Chaos Lords, but it's still good. Like I'm not going to deny it looks good.
And then this is the upgrade sprue, I believe, is the next thing. No, this is the upgrade sprue, and I think these are just this is a different squad, or these are just the regular Chaos Space Marines.
I think those are regular Chaos Space Marines.
Yeah, with the upgrade sprue. Yeah. And then this is just what else is in the box. I have so many of these, by the way. I have 30 of these.
Hey, you should send some to me.
I mean, maybe.
International shipping is kind of a bitch, though. So.
Yeah. And then we have the upgrade sprue, which is, the fisty fist.
Mm-hmm.
They look good. I like them. This release is a solid 10 out of 10. Absolutely amazing.
No notes. I'm down on it.
And then we have
down with it, I should say.
The Eldar. Eldar. These look incredible.
Corsairs, baby.
Yep.
Look at these Corsairs. There's Prince Ariel, the guy we were talking about this episode.
I need to get this model and get somebody with a really good 3D printer to 3D print Yugi Moto's head to put on this.
Because his shield.
He has a dual disc.
His mirror shield looks like a dual disc. Okay, I get it.
We have another look at him.
If I might, we've got a comment I'd like to read.
Yes.
Lorebeards Ross, this is Ricardo Andre. Quick question. Where would you prefer I enlighten you to our Lord and Savior Conrad Kurz, Lord of Nightmares, Master of Night, the Last Judge? Well, our Discord would be the best place. If our lovely neighborhood mod, Hawk, would put up a link to the Discord. If you guys want to talk to us, have conversations with us, or even to engage with our great community, Lorebeards has a strong community, check out our Discord because we have a lot of active channels, a lot of people talking about 40K, fantasy, Age of Sigmar, all those things. Thank you. Nightbot has put up that Hawk got it for us. Appreciate that. You guys can check out the Discord. Go there and at me, and I will. I'll see if I can read those comments about Conrad Kurz. All right, so back to the models. We're looking at Ariel here. I actually like his helmeted version better than his bareheaded version.
It is really weird, but yeah, I prefer it too. Also, they're still not giving me a solid answer on whether or not Eldar use bionics.
They do.
Right? They have to, because that is a bionic eye, right? Yeah, but I can't find anything in the lore that specifically states that, yes, they do. I only have pictures and models, but I need something in a book that says, this is an Eldar cybernetic.
So, to be clear, from my experience working with Games Workshop, if it's on the model, that is a stronger indication than having it written in a book.
Yes, I agree with that.
So
moving on.
Oh, check these guys out. Sky Reavers, baby. Oh, I love that
he has a war scythe. It looks silly, but I love it.
It's almost like a boarding hook. So yeah, Corsairs are a fascinating subfaction. I would love to talk about them sometime, of the Eldari. And this is their only second time they've gotten models, I think, because Forge World had a set of
Forge World made them.
These are now an official plastic kit, and they look really, really tight.
Now, I did talk to a few Eldar players about these guys, and they don't know what they're going to be used for. Because we already have swooping hawks who are going to occupy the exact same role, but these guys look like they're more meant like how Tyranids use gargoyles. So they might be a cheaper choice where the swooping hawks can then be used to sweep certain infantry units.
Swooping hawks should be more elite.
Yeah.
Just based on the lore, Swooping Hawks should be more elite. They just end up being real fragile, which is the issue. But these guys, wow. Oh, God, look at that helmet. Corsairs occupy a fun liminal space in between Asuryani and Drukhari, and you can actually see that built into their armor. If you go back and look at that guy's helmet, one right there, that helmet, that is so Dark Eldar right there, which is great. But yeah, these guys they operate in that zone in between those two factions, and you can tell on the model, which is just so good.
Now, the next box set is these two versing each other, or the next narrative set is these two versing each other because they're both pirates.
Nice. Yeah, I can see that.
This crystal sword looks amazing. The weapon itself looks incredible. No notes. They just look amazing. Like, look at these heads. The sculpts look so much. They look so good.
That's
and sick. I love that they kept like the 90s, mohawks and everything.
Without doing the Dark Eldar space hair. I'll have to show you guys the space hair sometime so you know what the hell I'm talking about.
And then look at this model. This looks straight up like John Blanche's artwork.
The Void Dreamer, Karseth the Aethermancer. Nice.
If you look at the Rogue Trader rulebook for Eldar, you see this helmet. It's so cool. I love this. Although the one thing that, again, I point out is AdMech still only have one playable named character, Belisarius Cawl, and Corsairs have two.
Well, Ariel and Karseth, I guess, but yeah.
Yeah.
That's cool. Vipers.
We got a redo of the Viper.
That looks nice.
And I saw a chat comment earlier saying, finally, Eldar getting love. Where were you last year? They were getting a lot of love. They only need one more unit and their army is full with all new models. It's crazy. Like,
well, the
and
Viper
this looks really good.
So for old hammer guys like me, the Viper used to be kind of an issue because it was open top. It's like the guy in the back just was sitting on he didn't have anything to cover him. And this and the Warwalkers, we were always joking that the Eldar had the force field technology of Star Trek. They could just create little bubbles, and that's why they were okay with these guys going down, from orbit or coming out of the webway portals onto planets with who knows what atmosphere. But this upgrade puts an actual shell over that gunner on the back and puts the pilot in more of a cockpit like position. I really like it. It's a great update.
It does lock the weapon to forward facing, and this one is rear facing. This is the Corsair variant of it.
Interesting.
It has a name. Its name is somewhere. The Corsair Voids Scarred.
I think the Voids. I don't know. I'm not sure that's the name of it, but the Void Scarred.
Is that the name of these?
That might be that.
That might be the name of these. Corsair. Blah 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 blah.
It's just a different configuration. Starfangs, I guess.
Yeah, maybe.
Maybe that's the weapon. I'm not sure.
I don't know, but it's cool.
It does look good. It looks good. Now let's look at these Void Scarred. Hey, again, you can see the influence of both Drukhari and Craft Roll on these guys, which is really neat. Those guys look sweet.
Weirdly enough, we already have these. We have the kill team that is these guys.
I thought they might have been from a kill team. Yeah,
but this is a newer kit of them.
Kill team is starting to become like a staging ground for.
It's a preview.
Yeah, it's like a preview kind of for Games Workshop, which is neat.
They're just like, is this selling? It is. Release them.
Make it a real thing in 40K. I like it.
So that's the end of them. That another 10 out of 10. The Eldar look incredibly good.
Yeah, I agree.
I have been blown away by all the new Eldar. They look amazing. Like they finally upped their scales so they're taller than humans. So humans actually do look like the underdog. Although they are not an underdog at all right now. They're doing real well. So next up,
Custodes.
We have the Custodes. Chat, please. I don't want to argue with people. Just be cool. Please. I know you can. I love all of you, and I know you guys are just the good parts of the community. We're going to talk about Custodes. don't freak out.
If I may, I would like to add that we've been doing this for several weeks now, and I got to be honest, I've only ever seen one comment in chat that I was like, "What are you talking about?" You guys are generally very good, very supportive. We really appreciate you. We appreciate the vibe that you bring. So, don't take her words too hard. She's just like trying to head off any problems at the pass with these because female custodians are a bit of a flashpoint with some aspects of the hobby. I'll be clear, I think they're fine.
I also think they're fine.
They're absolutely fine.
Yeah.
And these models look sweet. They look sweet as hell.
These look incredible. Like, oh my god, do they look so much better. They are so crazy good. Plastic Gladius Dreadnought and Achilles Dreadnought right off rip, and the vehicle has both turrets. Hell yes.
You know what? You know who's smiling right now? Henry Cavill.
Yeah.
Henry Cavill's got a big old grin.
He might be frowning because he has to buy this.
Oh, I guarantee he could just call them up and they'll send him a box.
Oh yeah, they'll probably just be like, here's 10.
Hi, I'm Henry Cavill. Could you please send me a copy of the new box? Yes, sir. How many would you like?
Here's 10.
Look at that. Look at that. The detail, the drip on these guys is sweet.
So somebody pointed out that instead of being wide, these guys are tall now. And I fully agree. They look like they just stretched out the model a bit, but they look so good. Also, they finally got rid of the stupid trigger on the gun. I always thought that was stupid that the custodian had to stop to shoot their weapon instead of it just being an MIU. My headcanon right now is that weapon is now MIU'd, and they are just firing it as they're twirling their weapon.
I really like the top knots too. Those are very dynamic and cool.
Mm-hmm.
They're the best version of that look I've seen.
Also, we got Mohawks.
Yeah.
Instantly cooler. Oh, an MIU, for those of you that don't understand, is a mind impulse unit. It allows you, it connects usually at the back of your head, and it allows you to control pieces of your technology by thought. So a lot of the times you can put it on weapons and you could either say for it to fire or you think that it fires and it fires.
There's a guy who was an Inquisitor who had a shoulder mounted gun, kind of like the Predator had a shoulder mounted gun, and he MIU'd. That's how he controlled it. The Saturnine Terminator suits use MIU technology to control their weapons that are on top of them as well. Oh, wow. Look at that.
I highlighted it.
Those Guardian spears are looking sweet. Oh, so much drip. The detail. Yeah, I don't want to start a custodian army either, and yet I kind of do.
Yeah, exactly. Now, for those of you playing 40k instead of 30k, you can use these guys as wardens. That's what these would be used as. But they do lack the axes. I just want to put that out there. They do not have axes as far as I can see. They might have them on the sprue. We don't know yet. And then look at how much better the gun sword looks. They're using the clip. Well, it's not a clip. It's a magazine. They're using the magazines as the crossguard. Yeah, that is hot. So cool.
That's hot. These are the old ones looked not great. They
look terrible.
These look very good. I'm a fan.
Oh, they look so cool. Oh my god. I love this. And the faces all look really good. I bit my tongue when I said that. So this is the sword and shield versus the
Guardian spear.
The Guardian spear. It's not a spear though. It's more of a halberd. But
I didn't name it. All right.
Don't I know. And then we got the Gladius.
Oh, that actually that's a big improvement on the Forge World model as well.
Oh my god, I had 3 of the Forge World ones and I sold them. I sold my custodian army a long time ago. Glad I did, but now I regret it because now I want to play custodians.
Caladius Annihilator Grav Tank. Yeah, their vehicles. Here's the thing: their vehicles have always looked really sweet, and their rules have always been fairly bad. So I'm kind of hoping that the rules for this tank are actually pretty good.
The new rules for it in 10th edition are insane. Keep in mind, we don't know if this thing's going to be playable in 11th edition. Just want to point that out. They did assure us that it's still going to be playable in 10th.
Lupercal asks, don't you feel that the legs are a little bit too Stormcast?
That's fine by me.
I think that's a fair criticism, that those legs do strongly resemble Stormcast. I don't. You're right, but I don't think it's a problem, I guess is what I'm going to come down to. Is like, it doesn't bother me that they look kind of like Stormcast.
I think they have better body proportions than Stormcast.
I kind of agree on that.
Yeah.
But good point, nevertheless.
Yes.
Oh my God, that plastic dreadnought. Oh, that looks good.
Yeah. And it has the las cannon scythe too.
That's
yes.
rad. Previously these were only available for Forge World. They were resin. It wasn't the best.
They were a nightmare.
These things look a lot more fun to put together and paint. Oh my God.
That's the shield captain.
Oh wow. That guy looks. Oh, and there's the female head. Oh,
there's the woman.
Look at that shield. That shield is amazeballs.
Yeah, it's crazy.
The cape. I want to paint that.
Mm-hmm.
I wouldn't be very good at it, but I want to paint that.
I hope I get commissioned for this box. I hope I get commissioned for 2 of this box. Oh my God, do I want to build and paint this? And then I want to kill it.
Well, that's a hell of a model. Oh my gosh.
Are they slowly killing Forge World? Yes. They merged Forge World back into the main company, and they're slowly getting rid of all the resin models. There is a small design team that is going to be making special characters and special units for these specialist games, which Heresy does count as. Yeah. Let's see. Then we got the Ynnari.
Yeah. So here's the thing. For Heresy era has some of the most unusual jump packs that you will ever see in 40K.
Mm-hmm.
The Raven Guard have their specific version. These guys have their specific version. There's at least 2 or 3 other versions of jump packs. I like that this is a very unique looking jump pack. I don't care for the overall aesthetic. Like, this is probably a unit I would not put in my army because I think they look a little goofy. But the backpack design, you know what it reminds me of? It reminds me of that Dino De Laurentiis Flash Gordon movie with the
I was just about to say, they're the flying monkeys.
Well, flying monkeys are different, but the Hawkmen from Flash Gordon have a there's a cool connection there, and that's maybe where I would go with these, is maybe paint them up a little bit like Hawkmen, but they look rad. They look good. It's just not my particular taste.
So these things in 10th edition right now can rapid ingress for free, which means they can come in on your opponent's turn, and you can do it multiple times, and they're crazy.
Lupercal 18 says Sanguinary Guard are about to turn traitor just for that jump pack.
Yes. Also, when I first looked at this, I thought they had the nipple armor too. They don't, but they all conveniently have something near their nipples. Just wanted to point that out, that they almost had nipple armor and Sanguinary Guard don't anymore. And then we have the other tank. Then we have the gigantic transport.
Man, those look good.
Yeah. It's so good. That little stand is barely going to hold it, but yeah.
Well, it might be. I mean, now that it's not resin, it might be light enough to float on there.
The cool thing about this, what we do know, is that they did not say the Sisters of Silence are being completely ignored. So my army might still be playable, because the reason I don't play 3rd edition as much is because 2 of my armies got pretty much removed from the game, and that in the rule system, I don't really like the 3rd edition rule system. That's on me. But I am going to still buy all the books because I'm a hoarder. Yeah.
Micah says the tanks look like hot dogs to me, and now I'm hungry.
Bro, I just had hot dogs for dinner.
Lupercal says, I want that in the new Termies. Yeah. I can't wait to see new Custodian Terminators. The Aquiline.
Yeah, new Aquiline Terminators.
That would be their Terminators are rad. I would love to see some more of those guys. But so as a Horus Heresy guy at heart, that's amazing. Big fan.
This is a 10 out of 10.
Yeah, unquestionably.
Now we get hang on.
The Reign of Iron. What?
I want to try to get to that one last. This one we can pretty much speed through. This is pretty quick. We're getting wow, that was easy. I was at the bottom. We're getting a new super heavy tank. We're getting the glaive, and then we're getting an upgrade sprue for it for the different weapons, which is pretty cool. What annoys me about this kit is this could have been one kit, and it could have been all of the Space Marine super heavy vehicles with just different turrets and made it the same as the Baneblade. That kind of bugged me a little bit, especially being that this is one of the most expensive. Well, I should point this way. This is one of the most expensive tanks that exist in in Heresy, and it is not. It's not good is the problem, but it is really really cool.
Well, at least so I was pretty deep in second edition Heresy. I'm not big in third edition. In second edition Heresy, super heavies were a waste of time.
Yeah, I always brought them though because I love them.
Sometimes the rules are for it, and sometimes they're not. So
yeah, I think the rules in third edition make this tank actually even worse.
Oh, bummer.
Yeah. Again, I'm not a big fan of third edition.
So the meta of second edition was bring only the tanks you need, and only the tanks that will survive, which was the Kratos and the Spartan were the two most survivable non-super heavy. So that's what most people brought, along with like cheap stuff that you could hide, like the whirlwind equivalent. I forget what.
Yeah, the Scorpius.
Scorpius. Yeah, those were reasons to take those tanks because you could hide them.
Mm-hmm. I know this is something that bugs me a little bit. Is they released the whirlwind for Heresy.
It's a good looking set. I like the turret on it a lot actually.
It does look nice. I fully agree with you on that. But we already have the Scorpius, and we have another whirlwind. So we have all three whirlwinds now for Heresy, which is really cool. But the Hypronus is now just not going to be used. Because the Hypronus was cool. It could ignore cover. And now we got this one, which does the same thing. It does look good, though.
It does. That missile launcher on top is rad. That's one of the best whirlwind launchers I've seen.
And then we got a new book for the super heavies themselves. And then we got this really neato picture. They look
okay.
Cool.
Prediction that book about super heavies is not going to sell particularly well.
No, but they're basically tax write-offs for GW. Same with the codexes at this point.
I assume that's true.
Yeah,
I believe that.
Now,
right, so what's this?
This is a bit weird. I tried to refresh this page a few times and it didn't work. So this is just here, but the picture ends right here. So my lovable friend who loves crazy stuff. Take a look at this and tell me what you think it is.
Well, it's clearly Iron Warriors related, so it's got the black and yellow hazard stripes. I'm guessing a demon engine.
Okay, we got one on what could be another shoulder. Okay.
Or chaos, or some update to the Hellbrute, maybe.
A hammer. Hellbrutes have hammers, so maybe.
That's a shoulder pad. That's just a straight up shoulder pad. Looks good.
This is all the same model, keep in mind.
Well, it's got to be some kind of.
This is the back of a demon engine.
Yeah, I'm guessing a demon engine or dreadnought. The Hellbrute.
This is a claw.
Yeah.
Another claw.
Yep. Yeah, I'm guessing some kind of demon engine or Hellbrute. Although if it's for Heresy, it might be a dreadnought.
This is for 40K.
So it's okay. So it's probably Hellbrute. I'm going to put my money on Hellbrute with a also possibly demon engine.
See, you're going for not getting disappointed. Do you know what the fans think this is?
What?
This is Peter Turbo.
Oh, demon Perturabo.
Yeah.
Well,
because this shoulder pad kind of.
I mean, it's just an Iron Warrior shoulder pad, so it's not impossible that it could be Perturabo.
Yeah. Because this right here is it looks to be the Cataphract shoulder pad. And this right here is very clearly a boot with a cape next to it.
Yeah.
So now I don't want to get people's hopes up. I do think that this is actually just a Hellbert. I think this is maybe not a Hellbert, but maybe something new for a demon engine strictly for the Iron Warriors. So I don't want to get people's hopes up, but also I really want this to be Perturabo.
It could just be a demon prince for the Iron Warriors. It could just be that.
Yes, it very easily could be a demon prince for Iron Warriors, and it would make sense that like this is a hand option, this is a hand option, this is its back, this is a hand option, and these are its side-mounted weapons.
Rush 21129 says, I think Warsmith, maybe Hansu. Huh.
Yes,
that's a possibility. We do have some super chats we should probably read because we're getting close to the end of the show.
Yes, we are. Where was the last one? Just be Rogue Trader. That one, and then we got was this one? Did we read this one?
Did that one,
we
yeah.
read that one. Okay. Did we get this one? Yes, we did.
Yes, we did. Yep. And I agree with that guy. Super Urlock. I am majorly crushing on the Enforcer. I think he means the Turellian.
Yep.
She is so cool. I agree. She
fully agree.
Really good. Yep. Absolutely. Any more?
The next one is this.
Odds of Tau. Okay, getting Gleeful is saying odds of Tau getting Turellian soon. Tau Turellians are mercenaries and they could work with the Tau, so that's a possibility. Do I think they're going to get them in the Codex? No. I'm going to say no. I'm going to say it's unlikely. Let's put it that way. But it would be cool. I would love, frankly, I would love if the Tau could be more open to having additional Xenos races like Tyrellians and Slith.
They could do a command squad that includes a Tyrellian and a Slith.
That would be rad.
Like that, those two, and then like put a Demiurge in there. So it's like the Ironkin of the Leagues of Votann, and then throw like a Kroot in that squad as well, because obviously.
Yeah,
and then
they're the coolest.
What other like minor Xenos race do they use?
Vespids. I'd have to look it up, but yeah. It's cool.
Put some of the rarer ones in a squad and just count them as their own like little command squad that can give not orders but guide like the other. They would have the ability to guide the auxiliaries.
Nissasar, says Gideon Gleeful, is another one. Yeah, which we haven't seen in Nissasar figure, so that'd be really cool. Also, the Whirlwind looks awesome, Gideon Gleeful says, but someone says it looked like Wall-E in that color, and I can't unsee it.
Yes.
Okay,
so
good point.
A lot of people may not know this, but the original, if you look at the old Whirlwind, a lot of people built it with a Lego. Like, that was a thing back in the day. You would just take a block and put it on top of your tank and be like, this is a Whirlwind. And it got to the point where it was so popular that it was in some of the older White Dwarfs as a conversion. But they couldn't say Lego. So they were just like, a building brick. So it's cool to see that it inspired what we got.
Super Urlock. This is in case you missed my earlier super chat, which we did until just now. I am in deep carnal and aesthetic attraction to the Tyrellian. Hey, you know what? Rock on, bro. You do you. I think that model looks great. I'm excited about the future for that model.
Oh, that Tyrellian looks so
sick. Yeah, absolutely.
But this also raises the question that the Drukhari don't have their command squad yet. And now we see that two other factions got a command squad, including random things. I'm saying random. They make sense for the squads themselves. But I almost guarantee that the Drukhari are going to get one with all of the old characters just made in plastic, but as one kit. Because GW seems to be doing armies that, how to put this, they're taking units that are typically brought together as one squad and releasing them as a box set instead of individual characters because, well, it takes a long time to print a single character. That's why single characters are expensive. GW, knowing that, is actually trying to make the characters easier to get, as weird as that is to say. Like, all the kill teams come with multiple characters that you could run in your armies. Like, I have the Sanctifiers here, and there's like 5 different characters in this box that you can use as characters for your 40k army. But
yeah, it's those new models are they're pretty awesome. Let me ask you this question, Alexis. Did I blow your mind with any of the fan theories about Eldrad today? Because I was pretty sure that at least one or two
Eldrad being a good guy. That one got me. I was there and I was like, no. But also, yes, you're correct. Damn it. I had no way to counter argue that. I was just like, well, in terms of 40K, yes, he is trying to be a good guy to his people and to the Imperium, as weird as that is.
I think the one that blew my mind was the idea of him as a pawn of Segarak, and that the whole all of his failures were just part of some grand cosmic joke, which is like, what? Yeah. And I started laughing, and I couldn't stop laughing for about
also
a
could
minute.
You imagine, since we know that Ethereal Stern made it into the Black Library, could you imagine if Kegarath just went, don't talk to him, it'll be funny.
Never say a word to Eldrad, specifically him. I'm messing with that guy, and I have been for 10 millennia. Yeah, so Ricardo Andre points out that some fan theories are not mutually exclusive. Yeah, good point. But the fan theories for Eldrad were particularly entertaining, at least to me, and I think
yes, I really like them as well. I think the one where he's being manipulated by Tzeentch was a bit meh.
No, that's kind of the lamest, honestly.
Yeah.
But you know what? Fan theories are fan theories, and sometimes they're right, and sometimes we want them to be right.
Fan theories and fan creations become a part of the lore. Saturnine Dreadnoughts, Saturnine Terminators, completely fan theoried, became a part of the lore.
Pretty great stuff. We will see you guys on the 21st, which I believe that's our next show, is Wednesday the 21st. And thank you for joining us here on Lorebeards 40K in the grim darkness of the far future.
There is only lore.
Thank you, guys. Have a great week.
Have a good night, everyone.